You can call BFAP Trixie a lot of things, a champion, a mauler, an undefeated phenomenon, but all these names pale in comparison to what Trixie really is, and that's pound for pound GOAT. A fighter so devastating, so skilled, and dedicated to his craft that he's left 15 other men in his dust as he swept up the competition. He left the Grand Prix as the undefeated, undisputed Xbox champion. It may be a new season, but Trixie doesn't intend on stopping his reign of dominance anytime soon. But can Trixie be stopped? Or better yet, who can stop the pound for pound fighter of Primetime Mma? Paging Haroon, a man, an Englishman with a thirst for violence, a wild competitor who has devastating combinations and a striking heavy game. A man who not only belongs in the cage, thrives in it. It's his playground, his home, his domain, his home. These two men will leave it all in the cage for one opportunity, one chance to change the course of history. Can Trixie continue his reign of dominance, or does Haroon have what it takes to beat them? Welcome, Primetime 46.
What is going on, you beautiful bunch of savages? It is Primetime 46. I'm your host, Cyrus the Looney. Tonight we are running 3 deep in the commentary booth. Joining me in the booth is going to be the one and only Mr. Humbledink and the announcing voice himself, Doctor Who. How are you doing, guys? Got a sick card ahead of us.
Definitely. We've got an absolutely incredible time ahead of us. Welcome back to Primetime. It's the Saturday night. It's the pinnacle. It's where you've got to be because these fights are incredible, Doctor. You've got Trixie versus Haroon. You've just described it word for word, but one of my favourites on this card. You've got Motown versus Fadner, and you've got Ned versus Bang Bang. What a stacked card we have. And that's just the top of the bill. We haven't even talked about the rest of the bill, Doc.
Yeah, the rest of the bill on the card is a mental card. You have Hayes coming up. You have Tad also coming up with Rao against Rao. Brady with Kate, your uncamped mate of KO Notorious. You've got comp fighting, and that's just in the main card. Looking down towards the prelims, you also have God Ate My Pig, who's a notorious striker and a grappler all at the same time. BFAP Jakey versus Jake Paul, the battle of the Jakes, it seems like, Humble. It's a brilliant card from top to bottom.
Yeah, honestly, cannot wait to get into it. Like you say, killers top to bottom, especially on these Saturday cards. The Friday cards have been coming through in a big way as well, especially as of recently, but these Saturday cards are a standout cards for Primetime MMA. They, I know, they bring the community together out here, Humble. We put on some fantastic fights, and each and every time these guys are, you know, well, they're delivering time on time, especially as the PlayStation side is growing. We're seeing a massive variety in skills that's being brought to the table.
Yeah, definitely. And the PlayStation Championship was defended last night by Deagle Fly. And, you know, it was a fantastic back and forth war. Something that it was a joy to watch and a joy to commentate. I know people who were enjoying it who were watching because they were saying in the chat as well. And the fights throughout the card. And let's touch upon this as well. It's the start of a new season. We've literally had one event, which was yesterday. This is the second event. These guys are positioning themselves in ready for a title shot, essentially.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, obviously, as you move through the beginning stages of the tournament here, or sorry, the league as a whole there, Doctor, as we go past that tournament now into the early stages of, you know, these new seasons, Season 2, I think it is for PlayStation, Season 3 on the Xbox side of things. It's a real great opportunity for a lot of guys that maybe haven't seen in those positions previously to, you know, kind of get their name out there, because you're 1 or 2 wins, you're already in the kind of the running for the upper echelon, so to speak, because a clean record at this stage is, I think, is quite a big thing.
Yeah, being undefeated, having that 1, 2, 3 wins, if you can manage it, is an impressive record to hold, and that's what we're going to start seeing. We're going to see the new names fighting the champions. Not really sure how it goes. Such as Spartan, he struggled last season, but he's come out this season and looked really good, as we saw on the main event yesterday. But again, as you mentioned, it's just a case of if you can get those 1, 2 wins, you're going to have a fantastic time and maybe even get yourself a title shot.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, without further ado, I think that we are about to jump into the first fight. It's going to be between 2 absolute killers. It's going to be Vex Leave, who I actually, funnily enough, I recently was playing the game again Humble. And on the Xbox side, I know that you haven't got an opportunity to see it yourself since you're a PlayStation player, but Leave the Great, I believe he's actually in the top 10 at the moment, or he was a couple of days ago when I checked. So coming through on the scene, these Vex guys, they've got some great signings, and he's quite clearly one of them. So he's going to be looking to put on a standout performance. He's looking to pick Conor McGregor, from what I'm seeing in the back here. But he's up against a man that's quite clearly confident in his abilities. He knows that he's got a tough threat ahead of him, does Corvo, and he appears, brother, to be going over Sadiq Yusuf. Your mic is muted, my man, sorry.
Okay, there's been a mix-up, I said, in the UFC community at the moment. Obviously, the fighter update that was the other day, and some of these fighters are picking, these players are picking different types of fighters than they usually pick. And I love that Yusuf pick. Power, absolute ferociousness, and good kickboxing and wrestling as well, all around. But it's against a Conor McGregor, Doc. A Conor McGregor pick in prime time is difficult to beat because these players know what they're doing.
Yeah, a McGregor pick is such a difficult time to fight. You can only really fight McGregor with a McGregor, per se. That power, the footwork is all just a bit more. Sadiq Yusuf does have a similar stance. I think he uses the same stance as Cody, so he does have that back punch, which you can look to get a counter. But with someone like Lexi, who's a pressure fighter, who I personally, from my experience, has known him to be on the same level as Bang Bang in some cases, it can be a scary time.
Great stuff. Looks like they're readying up, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hopefully they are ready to go. I know there's a little bit of a delay there, so maybe caught them just kind of a little bit cold for a moment there, Humble, but they seem ready now. McGregor v. Sadiq Yusuf, like I said, I rate that pick quite largely. You don't often see him too much in the kind of in the lineup there, Doc. So especially to kick off the card, nice to see a little bit of variance, and we'll have to see if he's able to get the job done with this pick.
Yeah, it's nice and interesting to see different fighter picks. We always enjoy them, having to see like the same type of mirror matches. Sometimes do get boring. With that being said, though, both of them are staying fairly calm within the first 20 seconds of this fight, Humble.
Yeah, nice hits him with two big hooks right there, and then backs right up. Liking what I'm seeing from the red corner so far. Lex is he's always been around the top. I've seen him fight in multiple leagues. I've seen him fight all over, and I've seen him on streams as well. He's a great distance finder. He knows how to find his range. It's going to be difficult to try and catch up with that movement with Yusuf, Cyrus.
Yeah, right now, I'll be honest with you, the one thing that Lex the Great is doing just absolutely fantastically well is, like you said, the movement, playing the rangy game, but also he's used a couple of head movements that have set up some body shots out here, Doc, and we said it at the kind of throughout the Grand Prix as a whole, the PlayStation and the Xbox side of things. If you attack the body, the rest surely will follow, and that may be what he's doing here, brother. Sits him down. Beautiful sequence of shots by McGregor.
He
Nice
didn't need
right
the
there.
body there. He just worked that head and made for it, Humble.
Yeah, he definitely did, and he's mixing up his combinations really well. And I mean by the amount of shots he's throwing. Sometimes he's throwing the one, sometimes he's feinting, sometimes he's throwing a three, sometimes he's throwing a four. And trying to predict that is very difficult because you've got a lot of options there, and he's using the same entry for a lot of stuff as well. So this is a tough fight so far from Yusuf, as we predicted at the start. But Lex the Great putting on a show at the moment, Cyrus.
Yeah, definitely. I think you make an excellent point as well. He's given a lot of the same approach, but just different angles off it, or a lot of the same setups, and then giving different angles. And just a high land percentage out here, Doc. He doesn't seem to be missing a great deal, and it seems to be having a large impact on Yusuf's kind of overall durability.
Yeah, it's just that ability to constantly land shots.
Is he give up right now? What's going on?
I don't know.
They
Maybe
could
a
control
control.
the disconnect, maybe. Yeah,
I mean, if I'm next to Great, you want to put in a performance. You're about to get a highlight win, and you don't know whether this guy's control's disconnected. So it looks like somebody's given up.
Yeah. He looks. I don't know, bro, because he's moving about in betweens. He needs to throw back. I mean, he's definitely lost if he doesn't. I mean, he's starting to land some shit right there.
A bit of rope it up. A bit of rope it. Hit me. The guy's too nicest too. Thinking, bam, catch him with that sneaky uppercut, the Floyd Mayweather style, Doc.
Indeed, the uppercuts did land quite successfully. Maybe dig back to it, especially with how Lexi is going down to that body coming up top. If you can catch him at the right time and get either a flash or a stun quite quickly, Humble. That being said, though, Lexi's having the more success here, I feel like.
I don't think playing Possum's going to work twice in a row. Not against Lex the Great. He has got the killer instinct to push the pace right here, Humble. doing all he can to continue this damage. You see the head health is becoming pretty problematic right now and sits him down once again.
And this is the thing, right? It may be a mistake there from Lexi, because if he did get knocked out by ducking into an uppercut, it's his own fault, because you've got to take them opportunities when your opponent's not ready. This is a league fight. This is where you try to win at all costs. If your opponent is not on the board, if they drop their controller, that is your opportunity to strike. And Lex the Great obviously feels in control, because that's why and he's catching him right now, Doctor, and this might be it.
Indeed, he's getting caught there, but Lexi's got to be wary. He's got the power, so if he can just wait for his opponent to make one mistake, look for the counter window, and you have that opportunity. With that being said, though, whenever you do engage, you end up having that bit of vulnerability, and it can risk the KO, Looney.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And right now, I mean, he's caught Yusuf in a situation where, you know, he's been at max vulnerability and he's been millimeters away from landing that counter that's going to close the fight out. He needs to continue down that, down what's got him to this dance, so to speak, out here, Humble. I think that's exactly what he's doing. He seems to be showing excellent composure out here.
Yeah, the straight shots have been on the money every single time, even if it's hitting the block. It's doing some block damage, and, you know, his takedown defense as well. It's twice he's gone the same way, and you can't do that against someone like Lex the Great, because he is exactly like his name suggests. He is great. He's not going to let you off. He catches him right now, and he's looking for a highlight finish right now, Doctor.
Somehow Sadiq Yufis manages by them bobbing and weaving, just hoping not to get hit. Luckily, he doesn't. Gets pulled back to there, though. Drop, follow suit, does do the up kick to make sure he doesn't get dropped on, but Lex is happy just to fire shot after shot here.
Yeah, this output is got to be something to deal with, Humble. We've been in some wars before, everybody has, right? But it's a little bit different when you've got your opponent who's quite clearly just picking their shots, landing everything that they throw, and they've got you in such a dangerous spot just over the midway point in the second round.
Yeah, you can't throw too many combinations where you can't throw any. And this looks like it from Lex the Great. He lands the uppercut from hell, catches him clean on the chin to take his tash off.
that was an excellent showing from Lex the Great. I'll be honest with you, I kind of hoped that he was playing possum, his opponent Kovo, because if he was, I rate that I rate that quite honestly. That's some trickery that almost paid off for him out here, Doc. But no, quite honestly, Lex the Great, or Leave the Great, looking fantastic all round this evening. Really showcasing his skills and putting himself on the map in terms of the way that PT kind of shapes up here, Doc.
Yeah, it's a good start to the night. We have a very aggressive fighter versus an interesting technique of, as you said, playing possum. I think it's safer to bet to go with that than the possible controller disconnect. With that, though, we do end leading straight into the next fight, Warbsy versus Kangam Skilt Chumble.
Yeah, it's a good fight coming up right now. Warbsy, obviously a top player throughout his right, but he is fighting. I can't believe this is so early on in the card, to be honest, Doctor. This is a crazy fight to put early on in the card. This is going to show everyone the skill, the level that there is in prime time, because the prelims, the second fight of the card, as one of the best French players in the world versus somebody who finished in the top 15, was in the tournament last season and did well throughout the season, beating top competition. And it's great camps as well, right? Skitch is in Chem, Warbsy and BFAP. Fantastic camp, Cyrus.
I couldn't agree with you more. Two of the kind of more stapled camps within the community for sure. I think that Skitch is an absolutely fantastic pickup for KM. They have some silky smooth strikers over in that neck of the woods, and I think that he's an excellent addition. You came with a recommendation out here, Humble, to watch out for this man, and you are absolutely right. He is a phenomenal striker, but...
Well, sorry, Cyrus. Yeah, well, let's talk about that last season as well, as you're saying that. He went 5-1 last season, you know, in both Xbox and PlayStation combined.
Exactly, and I mean the fact that he's able to do that across different platforms, because of course there are subtle differences to it as well. I've not had the pleasure of experiencing it myself, but I know that you have, Doc, and being able to do it so consistently is more of a testament to that guy's abilities right there. But going up against somebody like BFAP Warbsy, that's been around the block, trains with some of the best killers in the game, including the champion that we'll see later on this evening. I think that this is incredible matchmaking, and especially a bit of a treat for us being this early on in the card.
Yeah, very early on in the card, but such a good fight leading off the back of the Lexi fight. You've got Warbsy, a talented striker, a talented grappler, whilst on the other hand you have Skilch, who's a very talented striker and is able to keep it on the feet, put that pressure forward, play in a very aggressive game, Humble.
Yeah, he definitely is going to be playing a very aggressive game. As Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier is going to be a fantastic pick for both guys. We see this matchup a lot in prime time, though. This is a matchup of power and precision and great accuracy.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, both guys are heavy hitters, to say the least. Obviously, Dustin Poirier's power, though, I just feel like it translates a little bit better throughout the course of a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight out here, Doc. And that, a lot of the time, if Poirier players are able to get out of that first round, normally starts to go in their favor. But, of course, it depends on how your opponent approaches it. And somebody of Skitch's caliber, I don't expect him to be blowing any sort of stamina wads too early.
Yeah, Skilch is a talented man. He understands how the game works, and he understands the cardio as well at the same time, so he shouldn't have too much difficulty.
Well, only the second fight of the evening. We are having KM Skitch up against BFAP Warbsy. Once again, these two killers are phenomenal talents all around, whether it be on the feet or the ground. I expect this to be a majority striking affair out here, Humble, though, as we see Skitch opening up with some trickery, attacking that leg early.
Yeah, he definitely does, and he's going back to the body. He does a fantastic job of mixing it up, and that's the thing about Skitch. You've got to watch out for his setups. His setups are what make the fight usually. Warbsy's going to be... well, I'm interested to see how Warbsy does in this round, because if Warbsy can come over the first round, he might have some success, Doctor.
Yeah, if Warbsy can get past this first round, that's where you're grappling, where you're striking, just where someone's ability to be fluid kind of tapers off, especially at the beginning of the second. That being said, though, you already see Warbsy putting his skills against the cage. He's digging down that body, trying to slow the cardio down, Looney, and that's probably the best method he can do so far.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, controlled pressure, I think, is the name of the game for Warbsy right here, doing a nice job of landing the 1-2 straight down the barrel. And earlier on, the lunging hook, Humble, I thought was a beautiful ripple to add into the game. Caught Skitch, but Skitch is always answering back, brother. Always answering back with something just like that, my man.
Oh, man, yeah. He's just got, the thing about Skitch is he's not going to get carried away with his setups. He's got to stick to the basics for as long as he possibly can before he starts to break his opponent. And sometimes, if you catch him throwing too many things, he will go ahead with it, and he'll throw 3 or 4 pieces, and that affects his stamina, and that's where you can catch him later on in the fight. So, big shot right there. Vulnerability down. Now he's coming forward, Doc.
Warbsy's having some big success. We're saying he's not predominantly a striker, in my opinion. Skilch is facing some tough adversity here, the body, the head, health, and just that you saw there. The hook's head comes up top, just trying to put on this pressure, and Slick is pinned against the cage, Luna.
This is advancements to Warbsy's game for sure. His striking has never looked this crisp. He's landing shots, getting his head out of the way, but eats a couple right there, Humble. These guys are neck and neck at this stage of round 1, and honestly, it's anybody's game. And once again, Warbsy gets the rock.
And what he's got to be careful of, though, is you talked about his wrestling, you talked about his grappling, you said he's not one of the best, like a natural striker. Skitch isn't. One of the things about good fighters is they make adjustments, and when usually you get somebody who's a striker kind of converting and trying it out, they'll stick to the formula that's kind of working. If you make adjustments, that's where it can be affected. So the question is next, can Skitch make the adjustments, and can Warbsy adapt to those adjustments?
Yeah, you make some absolutely excellent points out here, Humble. I think that one of the things that we should both factor in out here as well, Doc, so we're very familiar with these camps, is that they're both fantastic camps who are going to definitely have guys in both corners that are going to be adding to that sort of all-round game of making adjustments. I imagine that both guys' corners right now are seeing certain little kind of slitherings that could maybe close this fight out, because it is very much razor thin at this stage.
Yeah, both of them have talented fighters on both end, knowing what adjustments need to be made. And that is the case of any league fight. It's the case of not who's having the most success, but who can adjust the quickest. And so far, obviously seems to have led the fight, but coming to the end of that round, it seemed like Skilch made those adjustments to slow the pace down and keep it into his ballpark.
Yeah, it's that case. It's not even just slowing it down, it's the amount of shots he's throwing. He's throwing 4 pieces, he's throwing 3 pieces. If he throws the 1 and he throws the 2 and he sets up them to start with, he can start throwing the bigger shots later on, but he's entering with 4 pieces, and Warbsy's just waiting. And when he's finished the 4 piece, that's when he catches him, when he's at maximum vulnerability.
There's a couple of situations in this round so far as well here, Doc, where either guy has gone for a leg kick and eaten a 3-punch combination to the face. Those leg kicks at this point may be getting a little bit dangerous. They set up those head kicks.
Nice sequence right there, Doc.
The leg kicks don't really matter currently. We've just seen the head movement looking slick by both parts. Skilch just trying to pepper the shot. Boy, now on the back. Originally starting with a lovely kick there, doesn't get anything from it. 3 minutes left on the clock, and both of them are still just happy to throw at each other.
And this is what I was talking about the adjustments. And Skitch, you can see he's coming out. He's starting to go low, starting to set up his shots right now. It's if Warbsy starts dancing to his beat, essentially. Warbsy look like he's keeping his composure those sides. He's starting to mix up the dirty box and the knees, the elbows, and there's one right there. And this could be it for Skitch.
Yeah, a lot of the successes he's had seem to be well-timed single-shot strikes like knees anytime Skitch is trying to go for the duck. And honestly, I just see that Warbsy has definitely been working with the boys in that background, working on his skills all round, Doc, and those tools are looking very sharp, and they needed to be, because look at Skitch, brother. He is game as they come.
Man, them combinations, Doc.
You're just seeing so much talent there, just the ability to go up, down, then go double up on the upside. It's just that impressive striking ability. You can confuse your opponent. If you just are in the moment, if you're flowing so slickly, especially with someone like McGregor, you're going to have a difficult time trying to keep that defense up, and that's a testament to how Warbs is surviving currently, Humble.
And he's doing a fantastic job. I actually think he's been winning the fight so far. And Skitch is just starting to find some momentum. He's just starting to find an answer. He's got a crack in the woodwork, and he's starting to peel the door open, Cyrus. And this could be it if Warbsy does not adjust to the adjustments of Skitch.
Yes, sir. I mean, you could be absolutely right. And honestly, I think that still, though, to this point, that Warbsy does have that takedown, although he may not get the opportunity. He gets sat down once again. Doc, this is a crazy pace. He gets him with a slip.
Double up on the elbows there. The stamina of Warbs is low. Skilch isn't far behind. Upper ducks into the uppercut. Doesn't get anything from it, though. As Will kick, the front kick gets blocked. 30 seconds left on the clock. They've still got another round to go, and this is already playing at a hectic pace, Humble.
Yeah, and this is what you both competitors have got to realise as well. You do have the next round to kind of get going, so you just be careful, because you do have that another round to kind of work each other out, make the necessary adjustments. And this is what we were talking about, wasn't it, Cyrus? We were saying, can somebody who's not naturally a striker keep that momentum going through into the second round? Because Skish is going to start pick up on reads. He's going to start working his way in eventually, because he's such a high level striker, and that's exactly what we've seen. Now the question is, can Keza do the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that you were bang on the money when you said Warbsy had a very strong first round, but as we saw statistically, even Skitch was running away in that second one, landing almost 2-1 in terms of significant strikes over the course of that second 5 minutes, Doc. He looks very, very confident, but has to be incredibly aware of that danger from Warbsy. My God, does this guy like to turn it up at the right moments?
Warbsy's clipping with the elbows, those elbows being the deadliest tool he's got so far. Skilch is just coming up and down, peppering. Both of their head movements are only just keeping them alive, Humble, and we've still got another 4 minutes left on the clock here.
Yeah, definitely, and this could be 1-1 going into this round as well, so both competitors kind of, whoever wants it more. It looks like the elbow, he finds a nice little spot there. We need to get one back as well. But Skish is starting to fire back, and every time that Warbsy goes forward, he does fantastic, and every time Skish goes forward, he does fantastic. So whoever's on the front foot at the moment is winning the fight usually.
Yeah, both of them are just being back and forth. It's just all hectic.
Man.
Warbsy is having a great third round until he wasn't. Humble, he gets sat down with a pull elbow from absolutely nowhere, courtesy of KM Skitch.
Oh my God, that came out of nowhere, but he disguised that so well. He only threw a few, and he nearly got him earlier on as well. That could have went either way, though. Both competitors came in and brought it tonight, and I tell you what, Kez's striking looked bloody good. Sorry, Warbsy's striking looked bloody good. Sorry about that, Warbsy.
I mean, that all round, Doc. Impressed with both guys, but that finish, that finish was something special in such a razor close fight to get kind of the fight finally secured. You don't want it to go to the judges, right? You're getting hammered in that third round after a potential 1-1 going into the third. Yeah, well, I wonder if we'll see the skip through now, I think.
Oh, they're going to show us. They're going to show us.
Oh, they did.
I mean, it was all flash. It was all flat. 1919. Okay. So yeah, it was all on that third round.
I called it. It was 1-1.
Skilt showed that third round. He got the pull elbow. He read Warbs' pull elbow because Warby was the first guy to introduce those elbows. Then Skilch took that adjustment to himself and made that adjustment within his own game plan.
Yeah, sometimes you need a reminder, don't you? You need a reminder of the techniques that you're not throwing, and you know what's such effective tools. Mirroring, sometimes it's called, Cyrus, and that's exactly what he did. Exactly what he did. He mirrored him.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, this has been a fantastic start to the evening, and I'm expecting this to continue quite nicely on the PlayStation side with LW Amazon, another guy from a great camp that's he's on the rises. Good old Amazon out here. Humble. He said that he's focused this season. He expects big things from himself, and quite honestly, that's also been echoed talking about mirroring from TMF, Night Legacy, another guy that comes from a fantastic camp. He's one of their PlayStation kind of main guys at the moment over on that side of the equation. But he's a guy that has maybe slipped up in the past due to over-taunting his opponent when he's ahead in bouts, and he said that is a thing of the past. Now he is all action all the time. Will be looking to take people's heads off, maybe even sprinkling in a tiny bit of wrestling, which would be something new from good old F. Mahon.
Yeah, definitely, and you can't, if you're in league fights, you can't always not be serious. You've got to be serious sometimes, especially if you're not using it to set up your shots or frustrate your opponent. When you're losing, you're taunting, you're just going to be more vulnerable and more likely to get knocked out. So Night Legacy's got to change that over. He's got to adapt that. And that was the question before you actually said that I was asking myself. Can Night Legacy take this seriously and come out of the season flying? Because last season wasn't his best season. It's the same sort of echoing over to Amazon as well. Amazon was in the top 15 for a while, but dropped out towards the end of the season, Doc. And both of these guys will be looking for a win tonight because it sets them up nicely going into the next season.
Yeah, a win by either competitors here is going to be a key to building themselves up into that main card. Again, early on season, we were talking about earlier. 1, 2, 3 wins will get you a title shot, quite possibly put you into those rankings and secure your place possibly as a known fighter. Night Legacy, again, we've seen him compete, as you mentioned. He is a taunting nutcase, sometimes not at the best of times. Amazon, on the other hand, is a well-versed striker across the board.
Well, this one is in the heavyweight division, I believe, out here as well, Doc, just to kind of throw it back to you for a second. These guys, 8-7, doesn't always mean a great deal under the bright lights, but in heavyweight, with such a close record, I expect this one to be another razor-thin battle. And I expect it to go everywhere, bro. You don't often see too many DC players not shoot at least one takedown, right?
Yeah, DC players, your aim of the game is to get the takedown and keep it there, mainly because DC's body is awful. Like, if you get hit a couple punches, it's dead in the water, and that follows suit with your stamina as well. So expect Degan to be looking for those shots, looking for the switch kicks to the body, and just work his body down and down and down is my suggestion here, Humble.
Yeah, and definitely, especially with the new fighter update as well, you've got Cyril Gane, who's actually had a +1 to his punch speed, so his punches are now at 96. And then he's had a -4 on his takedown defense. So does that come into effect tonight? Because Cormier is obviously a wrestler. And King Amazon might have known something about that going into the fight, because you're going to be able to get this guy down a bit easier than you used to before.
Yeah, maybe watching that video leading into it, Humble, picked up some handy notes. Like I said, it's an important thing to keep up to scratch on what's going on within the game, because those little things can often be the biggest defining factors out here, Doc, as we're seeing these guys kind of throwing bombs in the center with these two heavyweight fighters.
Bombs in the center, indeed. Does shoot the takedown, gets it down that takedown defense, not even coming into question. Does Fake, gets into the full guard, but now Cormier's just rained down shots within full guard. Does get up though, interestingly enough, Humble.
Yeah, it does, and a nice uppercut straight right there. I like how sometimes he's leading with that uppercut from Night Legacy. It's a smart IQ game plan, because one, you're going to get your opponent mirroring you, throwing uppercuts as well, and you're the longer fighter, so it's easy to get away from them uppercuts. And two, it stops him from going with the takedown. It gives him a threat right there. And I'll be looking for Night Legacy to kind of aim to throw the knees, maybe some body kicks as well from Amazon. But Amazon doing a good job backing him up at the moment, Doc.
Yeah, Amazon's doing a fantastic job here, just looking each shot, just making sure that Gan has no room to really kick, no room to really engage in what he wants to, because if you're Gan, you're looking to keep your opponent at a distance and poke a prod, Looney.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Honestly, I am definitely impressed with the way that Amazon is approaching this all around. He is completely out or completely in. Does get his leg caught right there and eats a front kick from Night Legacy. This kid does do his best work when he's allowed to let his hands go. And these sorts of takedown defenses here, Humble, are going to be confidence building for the guy for sure. I mean, it's just going to allow you to start letting loose with those hands a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I like what I'm seeing from Night Legacy as well. He's being very calm and collective in this fight. As I say that, he gets dropped, but that was due to King Amazon's ferociousness right there. And King Amazon is coming now for the finish, Doctor.
Yeah, King Amazon is coming for the finish, and that's what you want to see within this fight. Both of them looking for the finish, and if Amazon get out quicker, the better, it seems like.
Well, he's going to be feeling fairly comfortable. A minute 15 left on the clock, and he's just about secured full mount, not for too long, top mount even, not for too long, but ground and pound opportunities are available for absolutely everywhere in these positions, Doc, and especially with DC, he has the ability to rain them down for a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, rain down the ground and pound is the best part about having high striking defense, and so far that head health is already blinking. Very hurt, gets another deny there, and he can probably go for another half guard ground and pound if he wants to, Humble.
Yeah, definitely, and we haven't even touched upon this yet, but obviously the new ranking system as well, it means that earlier finishes get you more points, so these guys are coming out tonight to get extra points, try and get finishes, and I like the ferociousness from Amazon at the moment, because those points matter. Those points could be the difference between a title shot or not a title shot, a co-main event or not a co-main event, a main event spot or a prelim fight. That's the difference between these fights. So for me, I like that sort of finishing style. These guys should be trying to get a finish, and they should try and do it in the first round in every fight tonight.
That's an absolutely excellent point to make, and it's good, to remind everybody that that's something that's an added incentive, I suppose, going forward to continue to push the action like we've seen a lot of these guys do. I think that these competitors are starting to be very, very much dialed into some of the changes that are, that have happened or that are coming there, Doc, and it's making for some entertaining bouts as we're seeing Amazon start out big in the second.
Amazon's evidently heard it already, starting out with a very boxing heavy base. Night Legacy's trying to come back. That straight's a piercing one. The uppercut doesn't land, a knee to the body there, trying to work down that body, Humble, and it's just seeming like it's not really successful with how far Amazon's how much damage he did in the first round.
Yeah, I can see Night Legacy as well moving on the outside at the moment. It's not kind of working for him because that boxing combination is coming thick and fast. He's about to finish his opponent. Night Legacy, can he hang on? No, he can't. He gets his face pushed through the mat, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, look, to put this out there, we said that Amazon was an absolute problem coming into this one. He's been training with those LW boys for quite some time. Heard very, very good things about him, from him as a whole within the community, and of course, he's had some really, really high ups so far in previous seasons. But to do this here tonight up against a motivated Mma or Night Legacy, Dog, I think is an excellent feather in his cap. We didn't see any taunts out of Mma this evening. He was quite clearly approaching this in the right sort of a fashion for himself. Just wasn't quite enough to get his, to get the job done over such a dangerous opponent like LW Amazon.
Yeah, LW Amazon came out very aggressive with those boxing combinations, and he just kept that pressure on, which I suppose with the fighter picks in play there, Cormier versus Agan, was exactly the style you needed and you wanted to see, and he executed it perfectly, Humble.
Yeah, he definitely did. He's going to push himself on the upper echelon. He's 1-0 in the PlayStation division, in a division that's just started again. Like we keep talking about, these wins at the start of the season are essentially placing you in different positions for the night, because we also added a different incentive this month where we had one of the guys who's fighting tonight in the co-main event, Fadinator, is starting to do the matchmaking for PlayStation, and predominantly he's an Xbox player, and he's judging these people based off their primetime history and history alone. So he's judging the PlayStation guys from a fresh new look, and everybody who's performing, Fadinator can watch was watching those fights, and that's where they're getting their fight from the performances, not from their outside record, not from reputation. It's from the performances in primetime, Cyrus.
I think that's a really, really important point, is that when you turn up to these promotions, of course, it's good to have a little bit of background knowledge, know where somebody's come from, to know the kind of, I suppose, the level that you expect them to be able to compete at. But ultimately, what it's going to come down to is the competition within Primetime itself there, Doc, and especially with this new incentive of the added points for early finishes, etc., etc. I think it really allows some of the better and more entertaining fighters to showcase them skills and kind of get into the rankings via a variety of ways. It's not just about kind of being outpointed anymore. You can get up there just from a couple of good wins with some good first round finishes as well.
Yeah, a couple good first round finishes, a couple good first round finishes against high opponents makes it all the better. Your aim of the game is to beat the best of the best, beat and finish them quickly is the name to get those points, to get up in those rankings and succeed.
Yeah, it definitely is. Try and impress the matchmakers, you try and impress the guys, you're trying to put a show for the people watching you, for your supporters, for your team, whatever you're representing. Primetime is for you, and these guys are about to go at it. Looks like we've got a Stephen Thompson versus Usman pick, or maybe he hasn't moved yet, but he has. He's gone Usman. I like that pick. It's not a usual one you see in the welterweight division, and he's got some fantastic striking stats as well as some ground stats as well, Cyrus.
Well, just something, I suppose, a little bit of insight, because I have been playing the game myself quite a little bit as of recent, and I had the pleasure of meeting up once again with TFA the Pug. I can tell you out here, Doc, that this man has an educated jab. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear. He peppers his opponent's face with them, and then obviously has the ground and pound and the kind of wrestling dominance to back that up. So look to him to utilize that if he can up against Evo, who's opening up like a madman.
Evo definitely doesn't care about the jabs here. He just wants to kick his opponent's head off. But having an educated jab sets up every shot you can. Instead, though, Pug shooting the takedown straight down to the ground, getting into sprawl position. You can work the body here, and that does massive damage to the stand pump.
Yeah, it definitely does. And Pug's a good friend of mine, lives down the road from being a good guy, a true competitor, absolutely loves being in the fights, in the esports community, and loves fighting, loves being on the show, loves us talking about him. He likes that sort of commodity, and he's going to try and get a big performance on. That's what motivates him, that sort of those sort of moments that he gets where he gets to beat his opponent and the commentators are going crazy and the people watching him are going crazy. That's what he wants to do tonight. Make no mistake though, Evo is a fantastic competitor himself, and he's crazy though, Cyrus. He'll throw anything at you.
He is a bit of a madman out here. We'll go a little bit Tony Ferguson, but he's already in a submission now from TFA the Pug. This man trying to lead by example, getting a submission in round one if he can, Doc. He's actually doing pretty good here. He's catching up that escape bar pretty quickly.
Decent tracking, catching up very quickly. You have to remember Thompson's general stamp is completely gone. Even if you don't get a submission, it sticks to the looks of it. It's going to be a very close time.
He's going to get it. He's going to get it.
He gets it.
He gets it. Wow, we've seen crazy comebacks in submissions recently, Doctor. Last night was absolutely insane. Tonight, even crazier. That looked like it was done. It looked like he got out of it there, but he let his stamina get way too low. He went for big, obvious movements at the start, and you can't do that against a good competitor like the Pug. This isn't a league where you can make and afford to make mistakes like that, Cyrus.
No, and just to kind of add on to that, I was talking about how good the jab was of TFA the Pug. He said, yes, I have that, but hold my beer, took that takedown, and I mean, that was a quick submission, Doc. I mean, my God, I know the Pug was talented on the ground, but I wasn't expecting that level of kind of threat, especially in the submission realm, which is normally one of the most slept-on elements of UFC 4.
Yeah, the submission round is kind of ignored purely for a lot of, just because there's a lot of subs which are banned, so it isn't always viable. But that sprawl guillotine's one of the strongest subs in my opinion, and he used it impeccably, just getting that tracking as well when Evo just had no real answer to it.
Yeah, he definitely didn't. I just like how, there's also a nice important fact as well, is that Stephen Thompson's stats went down by 2, his takedown defense, just to be on that, and maybe he knew something there that other people didn't, and when picking Usman, he was thinking, I'll capitalize on that mishap on the takedown defense, and that's exactly what he did, Cyrus. But the next fight of this evening is an absolute banger. It's Lepo versus Jamie Bucks, and these two last season did fantastic. Jamie Bucks, I believe he went 4-0 last season, Doc, if I'm correct, and he went I can't remember what he did in the tournament in the Grand Prix, but I believe he did really well.
I believe he did so as well. Again, if you beat if you're anywhere within that tournament, you're going to have at least some success. It's a very all-round effective one. He did go 1-1, looking to add another win onto his record. Jamie is, and Lepo's the next in fight with it.
Well, without further ado, this one is in the bantamweight division. I personally think it's a very fun weight class to pick in there, Humble. A lot of variety that you can have, although you do often see the Yan picks, kind of on repeat. But with the recent updates, the fighter update that obviously you were covering very recently, Dominic Cruz has received a boost, and as such, we are seeing Jamie Bucks hovering over him at the moment, which makes me think that he may be potentially picking him, which would be very, very nice to see in prime time.
Definitely, because Dominic Cruz has got great movement, but he's also got an extra 2 on his recovery and an extra 2 on his ground striking, and punching power has gone up to 87. You best be afraid. But Rob Font actually had some downgrades. He was on the minus section of my video today, and he received a lot of downgrades on his boxing, his blocking, and his cardio as well. And one of the things they have given him advantages on. They've actually given him a lot more durability is the kicking area. So his kicking's gone up, but his boxing's gone down. So it'll be interesting to see how he approaches this one, just because the character stats are starting to change slightly with the Rob Font pick. Even though he's known for his hands, his kicking's starting to get up there as well.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, I hope that they are about ready to go. No, he is mixing it up to Jose Aldo at the very last dog. You love to see it, bro. You love to see it. Oh, God.
Yeah, we talk about Cruz and it happens. But we can talk about Aldo, because Aldo also got an upgrade. He's probably one of the most upgraded players now in the bantamweight division, because everything he got took his stats above 92 at least. And, that's something where you've got to face an old Aldo. He's already good, Doc. He was already a brilliant player. We're going to see a lot more of this in prime time lately.
Yeah, Aldo's a brilliant fighter. He's just a very effective. He's got an all-round game. He's got the grappling. If you really need it, it's definitely not his area. Font, on the other hand, a pure striker, as you said, with downgrades, he's still good. He's got more of a kicking ability, and both of them already just getting off to a very aggressive start, trying to get that jab set up, Humble.
Yeah, he definitely is, and you can see them kind of jockeying for space right now. I'd expect Jamie Bucks to just find his range, find what he needs to find, and then, I've just noticed the name. That's hilarious. He's going for the uppercut right there, Cyrus. That's hilarious.
Yes. Not doing him any favors, my man. But no, it's Jamie Bucks is honestly a guy that always has, just an excellent ability to make adjustments. Right now, eating a bunch of shots to the face. Free Eaticus out here, also known as LW Lepo, is he's an aggressive striker, Doc, and really does like to land those hands, especially with the boxing. I mean, those combinations come out quick time.
Yeah, the boxing of Lepo is always a fun time to fight. He just peppers you over and over again, just looking for every shot he can. Bucks coming back, though, just getting that double jab followed by the straight, couple of leg kicks now also landing, looking to decrease the already low punch power of Font down below it.
Nice body kick right there, and I'm just liking the kick in it. This is the thing we talked about earlier on. The boxing's usually the problem from Rob Font. So if you can kind of neutralize that, because now the stats have gone down slightly, his kicking's gone back up, but he's not going to kick with you, is he? So Aldo gets them buffs as well to his boxing. It evens it out, but look at this. He's starting to pepper his head right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about combinations for Rob Font, and I think that's what Lepo does perfectly. But as you said, this matchup has become considerably more appealing for Aldo players around the globe, Doc, as we see him just getting, the better of some of these exchanges, although not those last couple.
Yeah, always getting the better exchanges is the core of the game here. Just getting the better of the exchanges is going to massively play dividends to it. But instead, Lepo takes it down, everything uncomfortable with the leg kicks being fired over and over again at him.
Nice work with the ground and pound now, though. He's looking at pepper his opponent, trying to switch it up, even out the damage. We've seen this yesterday. A lot of tactics going on in these divisions, but gets swept in our half guard right now, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. And once again, everybody forgets, Aldo is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, has submissions in that back pocket. And of course, the power translates beautifully to the ground and pound as well. He's doing a good job of riding out this position, trying to take the back, but Rob Font a little bit too wise for it. Lepo does have that dangerous grappling to kind of go with it as well, Dog.
Yeah, Aldo is always a fun time trying to grapple, and he's again it's making sure to stay attached to his back, just keeping it slow, keeping it patient. With someone like Bucks who understands the grappling game, he's a grappler turned striker, in fact, and so he's going to be able to mix up both.
Needs to be careful with that though. Went for the flying knee right there and just missed it out. But that was it's a close round, that, Cyrus. It wasn't kind of one-sided in any way. I did like the work from Jamie Bucks in that one, but they both had their moments, they both had their opportunities. It's going to be a tough one to judge, that one.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, statistically, as you saw them having a quick look at the stats in between rounds, it was very close, but a nice combination landing on the inside. These guys quite clearly willing to trade in the center of the cage out here, Doc. I don't know which way this one's going to go right now, but it is interesting to note that the good old free Yeeticus over there is doing a little bit better in terms of the stamina.
Yeah, he's just doing a bit better in terms of the stamina. In terms of leg health, though, he's doing a bit worse. Both of them just trading in the pocket as the leg kicks around us. They're probably playing a bit more dividends, and it's really tough to see. But that was a long combo. He just peppered past that block over and over again there, Humble.
Yeah, Freechicus is doing a fantastic job at the moment. And, he's not using any of his kicks, but he's doing a fantastic job just keeping his opponent on the back end of his shots. He's still using that boxing really effectively, Cyrus.
Oh, and there it is right there. Lands a nice little three-piece. Jamie Bucks able to slide out of the way and continues to attack that leg. The takedown pretty much was going to be needed. Goes for a double turning takedown and denied, Doc. Denied.
Oh, that's a lovely takedown defense there by Aleppo, getting the read on both of those turns as he went. Fantastic job now, Aldo.
Oh, he catches him. Freechicus. Freechicus. He knocks him out. Freechicus gets the win. That's incredible. Well done to Aleppo. When Aleppo got the win, it was a great, fantastic, straight down the middle, Cyrus. He caught him straight on the chin. He knocks his opponent out, and that's exactly what you need to do at the start of the season. Even though we had a bit of a joke with the name right there, that was a serious performance.
Yeah, no, definitely right, man. He came out here, Aleppo, doing his good old little bit of trolling, but he takes the fight itself seriously. Always does, Doc. And I've never seen a fight where Aleppo doesn't turn up. He's always in that fight, always aggressive and looking to take his opponent's head off as quickly as he can, to be upfront with you.
If Aleppo isn't looking for the kill, you're not fighting Aleppo. Aleppo has this innate ability to find every shot. If you enter the octagon with him, you're going to end up in a brawl, and that's exactly what happened there. And in that case, Aleppo just had the better end of it.
Yeah, he definitely did, and great performance. You need to have these performances. We're going to talk about it all night because it is the start of the season. But look at that next fight as well. We've got a Mob Yaiz versus Rock Lee, a fantastic fight between them two. AOW in the house, making some of their performances in prime time. I know them guys have been eager to get over. They compete in a few different leagues amongst Facebook and a few others, but a lot of them streamers that I talk to and I play on a daily basis are really good. So we'll get to see these guys kind of come into this one at a fresh face, because I don't know too much about these guys. These guys have got a chance to impress us. So we are like the PlayStation matchmakers and the Xbox matchmakers at this moment, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. These guys go in calf picks. I have to say, I quite like the variety, brother. You don't often see it, right? You don't often see it, but he's going to kickboxer Sniper, who I believe has the crane kick. If one of you could correct me, I believe we're going up against the Acrobat, which has the more Anthony Pettis style kind of wizardry to those kicks that he can throw up there. Am I right?
Yeah. No, you're definitely right. The sniper version is something that I achieved myself to the top 120 fights with. So, it's got a lot of different variety in kicks if you use them correctly, but it's also can put you in very vulnerable situations. Not so much against a calf pick all the time, but we get to see how these guys use these. One of the beauties of having a calf pick, Doctor, is if you play with that calf pick, and that calf pick is hilarious, by the way, with that ball cut. But if you play with that calf pick over and over again, you become very familiar, and it's one character, one moveset. You don't have to keep bouncing around between different characters.
That's the same with a fighter in one weight class. You get used to it, you can still use it. McGregor's in about 3 of them, so get used to McGregor, you can use it. With that being said, though, we've got 2 calf picks in the octagon for once, and both of them already just using that jab, just trying out all the fancy kicks, showing us what their arsenal's made of here, Humble.
Yeah, a lot of whiffs at the moment, though. These guys have got to chill out a bit, find your range, pick your shot, and use your setups, use your fades. And Bullcut doing a fantastic job. He's just staying on the outside right now, does get caught with the uppercut right there. And good boxing from Ease.
Yeah, I like what Lee is doing, or AOW, Bully. His switching of stances, is changing angles quite a lot on easy. And he's trying to be very, very elusive, although he does have to be careful of being pressed up against that cage a little bit too much, Doc, because it's going to set up some of those kicks as we see a crane kick into a spin.
Crane kick there, another kick there follows suit. Both of them are just playing a very kicking game. 3 minutes 20 left on the clock, and neither one's really taking dominance, apart from the fact Ya is the one putting on the pressure. But even then, the distance at which it's doing seems to be dictated by Rocket Lee at the same time here, Humble.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of just kind of sticking on the outside right there, picking his opponent off. And I really like this style because it's not a traditional style for a sniper. Usually the sniper style would go at the body with crane kicks, it would go at the head. He's kind of staying on the outside and he's countering his opponents. He's throwing the kicks when he knows his opponent's in range, when he knows his opponents can't really sidestep. What a beautiful switch kick right there. Scissor kick to the head, Cyrus.
Yeah, that came out left back for sure. Kept that back did easy, Yamobi. I mean, look, when you see these calf matchups, there's normally a much higher kick percentage, right, Dog? If King of the Calf showed us anything, that these guys have some silly amounts of creativity when it comes to the setups that they have. Sometimes they can just come out there naked, but other times it's often set up between lots of leg kicks, body work, and so on. It's a nice variation to see mixed up.
Yeah, it's a nice variation to see mixed up, just hoping to go between boxing and kicking, and so far that's what we've seen. We've seen a lot more kicks. We finally see a crane kick fired by Rocket Lee. A side kick there does also get clipped. A minute 20 off the clock, and both of these opponents are just having a back and forth bout.
Yeah, it's a very strategic sort of style as well from Bolko. He's staying on the outside like we talked about. He did get caught though, and Yamob started finding his success, finding his way in there. Big shots, because when you're moving so much, you become very vulnerable. But great work right now as he gets his opponent against the fence. Beautiful U-turn right there, Cyrus, to say, no, you're on the back foot right now.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job of just going between the body and the head as well. Every time he sees his opponent's hands drop or go up, he seems to be going the other way. Bull cut is dialed in at the moment. Got woke up by that big head kick that he received a moment ago, and is ending out this first round in a bit of style.
Oh, a lovely bit of head movement there. The switch kicks. Finally landing those hooks at the very end. Even even getting a drop, apart from earlier where we saw that flying scissor kick.
Oh, big shot right there. Caught him with his toes. We could have broke his foot right there, but Gabe says no, I haven't broke his foot. I've wanted the ball protected his feet. That's why he should have a ball cook. He should have went bald, Cyrus. If he went bald right there, he's breaking his opponent's toes. But the cushion of the hair, it stopped the toe. I actually hit him on the ear, I lie.
I think it went into his ear, in fact, and he may have a bit of ear wax on it.
Oh, Jesus.
No, that ball cut quite clearly gives this man powers. In what way and how, we do not know, but it seems to be working here this evening. I mean, he's looked very, very clean. That head kick, right? It came out of nowhere, Doc, but outside of that, looking very, very good is ball cut.
Yeah, Bolka is doing a fantastic job here, although Easy Odd just get a random head kick and it somehow worked for him. Maybe we see a few more random techniques get fired in this round. It will be the question. A couple of straight set does count on the hook. Doubles up on the hook. Doesn't get much success from it, though. Humble.
Yeah, nice work. He's keeping on the back foot right now. And he's starting to notice that if he presses him back, he also has some success as well. Good head movement, though. I'm liking the maturity so far from both of these players. Kind of using the calves how you'd like to see them used. Very technical footwork. Nothing's overcommitting. These guys are not kind of here to brawl. And it's something we're not used to seeing on Primetime, because everyone's they're all mental people, like myself as well. And these guys are taking it seriously. They're trying to land some beautiful strikes, but doing it in a very methodical way, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I mean, look, your mob is coming out here and doing some fantastic work himself. Especially, I find that when Bullcut is now pressing forward, situations just like that, he's able to fire off a couple of nice shots and rip to the body. But look at Bullcut, bro. He just seems to have an answer for everything, Doc. Anytime he's in a bit of adversity, he goes to a different technique. It gets him the respect he needs back, and he's back at kind of chopping away at that wood.
Yeah, so far, though, he may be dropping back at that wood. I just feel like Easy Y's having a bit better success with the general shots, because when he does land, they're landing good and they're landing hard. Although Bullcut is maybe having the better technique-wise, it's the case of Yaz putting on this pressure on occasion and just getting them more powerful shots off him.
you might be right as well, because what you're seeing in the movement is you're seeing Bulcut starting to move forward. He's starting to try to be successful, but Yar's got to get out of there, because that's a really dangerous position. If he doesn't know how to defend that one, he's going to have trouble, and Bulcut decides to go for the back. I'm going to pull him now in the back sitting, and we'll see what they can do from here, Cyrus.
Yeah, don't often see CAF players engage in the grappling realm too often, unless they're going, like a shark or something down those lines. But Bulcut seems to be the complete package here this evening, chaining that wrestling together, getting a bit of a mat return, riding out for the back take Doc, and he seems to be fairly comfortable down here.
We're all going straight into the top mount, does do the get up. We get up instantly, maybe comfortable, but evidently his opponent off his back as soon as, now putting all the pressure, Rockley does, and got stunned.
Going after him right now, and the body work so far from Bulcut's been fantastic, but there's moments like that just make you question the fight, because all of a sudden it flips in a switch, and Bulcut's got to be careful as Mob goes back to the head. He keeps doing some beautiful little subtle counters, Cyrus, which have a massive effect on the stamina and on the head health of Bulcut.
This switch kick, oh my god,
what happened?
I blinked.
Do you want to see a dead body? You can see one, courtesy of Bulcut Bully on Primetime MMA. I mean, my god, that was a spin kick from hell.
Definitely.
I've seen Cruz get folded over yesterday. I've just seen someone being killed now.
He just decapitated his neck off his shoulders.
He took his neck for a spin.
And like a flash, Bulcut comes out with an absolute hellacious, beautifully timed, rapid spin kick. And if you blinked, you'd have missed it, because 2 out of 3 of us on this commentary booth both blinked and we both missed it. Incredible stuff. When you can trick the commentators, you can trick anyone in the world, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Well. That was an incredible fight, as each and every single one of them has been as expected, right? The primetime guarantee continues to reign through, as it has already this evening, Doc. But up next is a fight that I think would have been on all of our horizons leading up to this stage of tonight's event, and that is going to be BFAP Jakey, an absolute savage in every regard, taking on one of the biggest up-and-comers within primetime over recent seasons, and that is Jake Paul. Going to be in lightweight. I think these two are set to put on one hell of a fight leading up to this featured fight on the prelims.
Yeah, Jakey is known as he's a grappler turned striker, and he showcased that strike into immense points, to the case where I feel like it's kind of an insult to call him a striker. Jake Paul, on the other hand, has shown his grappling, shown his striking, shown his ability to pressure and to suffocate people within the cage.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to this one. Always a banger when Toasty Toes is involved, and obviously Jake Paul likes to come out and put on a show, but I think these guys might be just getting those robes off, getting ready, their hands are wrapped, and they're just getting warmed up as they must have come out. And here they are now waiting to walk out to the octagon to fight each other. And it looks like we're getting a Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier pick. And I've got to tell you, Cyrus, I'm not shocked.
I'm not surprised, bro. I'm not surprised. No, once again, these fights, although we have seen it a lot, they are an interesting matchup, because it forces people to fight in a to particular strengths. I feel like a lot of the kind of front runners, the guys that really like to put on the pace early, have slightly better footwork, they go Conor McGregor, right? On the flip side, if you want a little bit more kind of the durability element of it, some of those combinations, he is a little bit more flat-footed than Dustin Poirier, of course, is your man. These guys match up very, very well, and I think that they have got the right picks here for their own individual styles. Jake Paul really likes to use elusive footwork out here, Doc. And he's going to have to use that and not walk onto some of those shots from Jakey.
Well, Jake's already just slipped there, making sure that he can just keep out of the way. He wants Jake Paul to walk onto his shots, and that may be the case. Although Jake Paul already clipping him, hoping to Lord in hell, full elbow there as well. Seems to be a trademark of the BFAP camp here, Humble.
Yeah, definitely, and I love that pull elbow. Sometimes it's Ooh, haven't seen that in a while. Nice work there from Jakey B. And let's just talk about Jakey B, because he had a tough outing last season. He went 6-6 in the prime time, but he did get into the Grand Prix and did lose his first bout, making him 0-1. So he's got a point to prove tonight. Whereas Jake Paul went 5-2 last season. He did really, really well in that, but he lost 0-1 in the Grand Prix as well. So both of these guys coming in with a chip on the shoulder. You don't want to go 0-2, Cyrus. I felt that myself yesterday. It's a bit of weight on your shoulders, a bit of pressure. If you can feel it on your chest when you do go and make that walk to the octagon.
Yeah, 100%. This is kill or be killed for these two competitors right here. 0-1 currently in the season. But they're both high-level competitors, as we have been highlighting throughout this build-up to, and kind of lead into this first round here, Doc. We've already seen the first takedown, of course. That's got to be from the side of BFAP, Jakey, of course. I don't know what Jake Paul's going to be able to do down here. I've not really seen him tested, especially by somebody of this caliber on the map before, but gets up.
Well, again, that sprawl get up is a very easy get up. If you end up with your back against a cage, that's the best place to be when you're on bottom. Just because that get up is one of the most effective get ups within the game. That being said, though, they're both still on the feet, both engaging happily. Jakey seems to be more content now. He's not shooting for a takedown at all. Lately, he just knows that rear hand is going to be the name of the game here, Humble.
Yeah, definitely is. And, I like the work so far from both guys. They're both kind of mixing it up. It's not just a one-sided fight. They're finding the ranges. They're kind of striking where they need to. It's whoever wants it most, though, Cyrus. Whoever wants to take over the fight and kind of dictate that, because it's a bit of a back and forth pit and patter at the moment. They're kind of landing, but nothing significant so far coming from either side.
Yeah, a lot of poking, a lot of prodding. They're trying to find their range and find the home for the bigger shots, but obviously both guys just such educated players that they've been able to avoid some of the bigger ones. But a nice uppercut landing from the side of Dustin Poirier and answered back from Jake Paul, Doc. These guys, it's such a matter of millimeters in this one, not even inches, millimeters between these two competitors.
Yeah, millimeters is always the best way to play a fight. If you're only just slipping, that means you've still got the chance to hit your opponent, and so far both of them do. The one counter can be the end of it. The overhand nearly clips him, and coming to the end of the first round, both of them still aren't ready to engage here, Humble.
Yeah, that would be death by overhand right there, because he nearly caught him with it. It came out of nowhere. Look at that pullback telling him, I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you. Great round. And they kind of turned it up in the last minute. So a lot of prodding, a lot of poking. And as soon as they caught each other, they were like, we're in a fight now. We're in a fight. Let's go. Let's go. And that's what I like to see. I like to see when they're in a fight, because these points matter, Cyrus. At the start of the season, you get more points for finishes.
Yes, sir. Jakey did not want to touch gloves. Jake Paul took a bit of an offense to that and is absolutely unloading with Conor McGregor, trying not to let Jakey be off after some early damage has already landed for him, Doc.
Early damage indeed. The hands of McGregor's unleashing the load onto Jakey. Jakey's just hoping for anything to slip counters. We've seen it a couple of times. He's had some success. A head kick there. A rear hook follows suit, but neither of these shots really getting past the block. They finally do, Humble.
Yeah, big load on his face right there. He comes back, he tries to hit him again and passes the guard into half guard. I've lost my words. Half guard right there. Now into Mount Cyrus. And he's going to try and tire his opponent now. Tire McGregor out right now, but he moves to side control. And what's he going to do from here, Cyrus?
Well, side saddle seems to be the option he is opting for. The ground and pound is there. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a tough position to hold, especially if you're opting for a lot of ground and pound. I expect quite candidly for Conor McGregor to be very defensively sound. Jake Paul, I said he had not been tested so far down on the map, but he's looking pretty good and is holding his own. Although, that was a beautiful transition, Doc, slicing through like butter. Now posted up in top mount, raining down ground and pound.
Jakey's having an easy time just slicing between different parts. He's gone from half guard to top mount to side control. The stamina of Jake Paul's getting really low. He hasn't given himself enough time to recover consistently. Does get back into half guard. Probably going to look for a posture up. No, goes for a side control instead. Up now, we may see him transition to the side control again. 2 minutes left on the clock, and this is just the case. I feel like Jakey is having an easy time. He just can't get any damage going, but with that deny, he may do, Humble.
Yeah, it's great to kind of chip away as well. Look at the head health starting to go down. Jake Paul's starting to panic slightly. Jake Paul's just got to get some denials right now. He's got to stop his opponent from moving. That's going to mitigate the damage in the ground and pound that's coming from his opponent, but he's taking an abuse at the moment. He's getting grounded like ground beef, Cyrus. He needs to stop the ground and pound, otherwise he's going to have a difficult time when he gets back to his feet.
Yeah, and that's if he manages to get back to his feet. There's a minute 20 on the clock. That's a long time to work, as Doc will be able to attest to. Got options for ground and pound and submissions available. Already seen a submission here this evening, Doc. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see another one attempted, at least, from JKB.
Well, you do have the option. That's another deny there.
Oh, it's going to be
a tempting idea, but instead goes for the ground and pound. That block's already done. The jab, the straights, the hooks. He is so close to getting finished, and that is so good with another 40 seconds left on the clock. That's a long time to work on the ground.
It's good. This is it. Good comeback right there for Matty. Amazing performance, coming back and found a hole in the weakness, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, look, all respect given. I think it was a very, very close and competitive bout throughout. Both guys getting certain advantages and leads, but JKB, once again, able to get the job done. One of these guys had to, unfortunately, advance to 0-2. One guy picking up their first win. That is Jakey, and over a tough opponent, Doc, in a pretty big way. Having to turn that around on the ground at the last moment there, and, of course, get that finish.
Yeah, both of them did a fantastic job. Jakey saw the adversity, took it back, and that was the way it goes. Not mix-ups. Jake Paul humble.
Yeah, you were about to say mix-up versus Killer Jake is next. That's what was on your mind right there. And, great performance from both of the guys in the last fight. I thought they did fantastic. But we have a great fight coming up right now, and thank you so much to everybody in the chat that's joined us tonight. If you want to join Primetime, please click on the link that we've got. It is the start of a new season, so it's a great time to join up. Great to be part of the community. We try and get you a fighter nearly every single week if we can, and get you on the even whatever skill level you are, it doesn't matter. Primetime will take you in. We'll welcome you to the family, and you can come and join us. But Cyrus, what a matchup we have next ahead of us.
Yes, sir. We have Black Acoustic up against Mix-Ups in the middleweight division. I have to say, I'm not too familiar with Black Acoustic. I believe he may be a bit more of a recent addition to the roster, Doc, if you could illuminate me on that. But he is? Okay, brilliant.
Debut.
And he is up against Mix-Up, which, if I'm not mistaken, is BSD Mix-Ups as well, Doc. I'm sure you're very familiar with this man. He's been around the scene for quite some time now, starting out this new season and, of course, looking to get himself back in the talks of that top 15 at least, at an early stage.
Yeah, Mix-Up is known as a fighter. He likes to play off the back foot. He likes to establish that jab, slowly kick you, make you frustrated, a bit like we saw Pug earlier do, but instead he came out with submission. So maybe we see Mix-Ups do the same, going for a more grappling approach, maybe the idea here. But with that being said, you've got a very well-versed opponent to fight with Black Acoustic.
Definitely, and thank you to Juanes Valentine in the chat who donated that one biddy. Every little helps. Thank you so much for the biddy. As we move forward, I think these guys might be cutting those pounds, Cyrus. They're getting ready. They're taking the shirts off. They're putting the gloves on. They're ready to go. Their spouses walking there. They're crying. Are we ready, Cyrus?
Yes, we are, brother. Yes, we are. We have a Robert Whittaker pick from BSD Mix-Ups, quite clearly taking this very, very seriously here, up against David Jury on the other side, and he's gone a calf pick. We've had a couple of calf picks come through here this evening. It's not a normal thing for Primetime MMA. This guy's got the gloves on, the beads on, Doc, and he means business.
Indeed, an interesting time. A Whittaker pick versus a calf. You've got to give it to the Whittaker purely on the stats base. However, we've seen a calf get beaten up, come back, and kill a man in the octagon. So you never know what's going to happen, Humble.
You don't know what's going to happen, but I have seen the guy. I'm sure he's got metal gloves on. Is that allowed in the Primetime Octagon, Cyrus? Are metal gloves allowed in the? Are we changing the rules now? Can I bring werewolves to this party? I don't know what's going on here. Metal gloves, Cyrus, the first.
It is the first, and I think it is in my area, brother. But no, those gloves definitely not allowed. I don't think that they are sanctioned by the Athletic Commission, but. He starts out with a leg kick, gets it checked. Mix-Ups is a savvy veteran out here, Doc, and I imagine that he's going to take a measured approach against a calf that he knows has unorthodox striking, to say the least.
Yeah, leg kick check there, and knee got caught. It so far seems to be the face of Jury so far having a bit more success, although Mix-Up's finally gets the knee off. It just seems to be the case of Jury's putting on this pressure.
Oh, big shots right there as you were talking, Doctor. Sorry to come in, but he caught him with some massive shots right there. And the fans are going wild, donating those bitties. You know, that's the way they like it. They're supporting the channel. They're showing people this fight is what I'm interested in. Metal Gloves versus Robert Whittaker. Nice work right now. Pushed him back to the cage, and he's going to try and get some damage with a leg kick, Cyrus.
Yeah, everybody knows the danger that is on display with a jumping switch kick to the face. Look, these calves, bro, like I said, some people sleep on them a little bit. I don't think Mix-Ups is the type of guy to do so, dog. He's quite clearly taking a very measured approach to this fight here this evening. But this calf is game, bro. He is game.
Yeah, it does seem to be game. My early adjustments of saying that the Whittaker would be in the betting favourite seems to be wrong here. Jury's having a lot of success. He's playing that in and out game, slowly picking his opponent apart, and Whittaker's having a bit of difficulty just trying to get a good understanding of him.
Yeah, he is, but he's still catching him. And one of the things about Whittaker is every shot that he lands is like twice the amount of you landed because of the power that he transitions, the accuracy that he kind of displays. And, you know, he's going to have to do a bit more, Jury, to kind of stop and mitigate the mixing up of mix-ups, because mix-ups is mixing it up. And he's finding it hard to stop it right now, Cyrus.
Oh, my God, the ducking roundhouse, whatever that is. Hits him twice in a row. The calf is just about surviving. He's trying to do all he can, trying to return it, but eats a straight into a lead hook. This could be spelling the end of the night, dog.
We're seeing the roundhouses coming out like overhands from Okada back, finally gets out the way of them. Although Mix-Up's now digging up a lovely little hook combo there, 3 minutes 30 left on the clock. And this is a massive change of pace to how it began. We saw Jury have a very effective game to begin with, but Mix-Ups and that ducking roundhouse seem to be the name of the fight so far, Humble.
And this is the problem. You put them metal gloves on, you mean you're going to try and murder someone. And that's what Mix-Ups is doing back. He's like, you trying to murder me? You trying to murder me? He's out hook right now, and he drops his opponent. He's out cold. Doesn't matter if you've got metal gloves in prime time, Cyrus.
No, I mean, Mix-Ups doesn't give no shit. This guy quite clearly has not lost an absolute step out here, Doc. Looking phenomenal here this evening, putting it all together. That, jab into the lead hook was a thing of beauty to close out that fight. Caught his opponent, diving into it, and added all that extra to the power.
Yeah, like, he just dived into it, and that's the way it goes. Mix-Up got the good read on it, and he did a fantastic job. He had a slow start, but evidently that didn't matter when he just was using Whittaker. The power, as you mentioned, Humble, is just immense.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing. Like, you can't. We're in a league where these guys are top of the competition. Let's talk about some of the records last season, Cyrus. So we had people who were 7-6, 6-6, 5-5, 8-8. 8-4, 7-2. And these are all the top 15 of the Xbox division. There was nearly 5 or 6 people that all deserved to be in the Grand Prix, and we couldn't fit everyone in. And guess what? Every single person in the top 16 signed up last season. So these records, these motions caps, it's so important to get a good footing at the start of the season. And you do that by picking a smart character selection. When someone picks Robert Whittaker, you don't then go and try and strike with them with a calf fighting. You've got to pick someone of a similar stature. Otherwise, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage before the fight even starts.
Yeah, exactly right. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the brag value, but ultimately, like you say, you're putting yourself at a massive disadvantage, and it's taking a big bet on yourself. When it comes up trumps, then by all means you get some extra nods in terms of the community as a whole, but ultimately it goes against you more often than not out here, Doc. And I think that's why we're seeing some of these guys like Nightlegs earlier on this evening, although it didn't go his way, start to take this a lot more seriously and try to put it all together.
Yeah, it's always a case of just making sure that you're always paying attention, knowing that every fight matters. If you get 1 loss, 2 losses in a row, it could put you in jeopardy of those ranking positions.
Yeah, it definitely can. And we're about to see a fantastic fight between Gamp versus Valentine, Doctor. I'm going to pass this back to you because these two are very, very well. They were both offended they were so early on the card. Let's be honest. They actually DM'd the matchmakers and said, why am I fighting on the end of the card? And the reason they're fighting on the card is because it's such a fantastic fight. They are headlining the prelims, everybody. This is a fight that's going to lead us into the main event, leads into the main card, with excitement as we go in. And it looks like it's going to be an exciting one as well, Doctor. Carlos Condit versus Tony Ferguson.
Carlos Condit recently getting a legendary health buff. It seems like he's got a fantastic chin from what I saw as well. So he's a very good pick now all of a sudden. Ferguson, although is also known for his crazy setups, his ability to knee bar people, he's just in general Tony Ferguson-ness, Looney.
Yes, sir. Honestly, I expect big things from these guys. I rate them both very, very highly. This is the featured fight, for a reason in terms of the prelim side of things. They may have wanted to be further up the card, and they often would have been, but especially this earlier on in the in this kind of state of the division, we want to put on some marquee fights, and that's exactly what we're seeing right here. Opening up nice and quickly, Humble, not wasting any time getting active with the respective picks out here. Wow.
Yeah, this is exactly what we expected, and this is the fight we came for. And got it, my pick just an absolute hook from hell right there. And Carlos Condit receiving any sort of stats boost, Doc, is a fantastic team because he deserves it. He was a top of his division for a long time while GSP was kind of away, and he took over for a while, having fantastic fights, and that's what we're seeing right now. A confident Carlos Condit who's coming forward and throwing his combination in bunches.
And yet still got subbed by Maya. That being said, though, Condit already digging to that body, looking up top. So is Gamp, though, with the Ferguson. Both of them have got the chin to stay on the feet. The cardio on Ferguson's side is something you've really got to be wary of. And both of them are already just looking to box, kick, or just generally attack each other in any way deemed possible, Luna.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Gotti, my pick, has the grappling to fall back on, especially with that Tony Ferguson pick. He's going to have ground and pound and submission opportunities available to him. But KM Valentine, leader of the KM boys, coming out with the natural bone killer this evening, looking fantastic, Humble, as he lands a spin kick to the face and then slips right out of distance, looking defensively sound to back up that, that offense that he's bringing to the table here.
Yeah, I can tell he's practiced that combination 1,000 times. Bruce Lee said it's not about the person who's practiced 1,000 combinations 1,000 times, about that person who's practiced one combination 1,000 times. And that looks like exactly what Valentine's done. He's put that together, and you can tell he's fantastic at it. And it's one of the combinations as he's been practicing that many times to do so fluently, Doctor.
Yeah, the fluidity and the unique striking of the KM members is always an interesting time to see it with skills. You see it with Valentine here. He's just got that side stab flying. Ooh. A takedown, attempted takedown there. Doesn't get it. It was a break. Oh, Humble.
Oh!
It was a feint, I do believe, brother. I thought that was absolutely beautiful, but no, that's all good. They're right at it, bro. I'm surprised Gotti, my pig, hasn't actually shot for a takedown of his own quite yet. Quite clearly, maybe he wants to find his beating on the in the striking realm first there, Humble, but he's eating a lot of shots, and I think he has to be aware of that.
Yeah, I'm liking the lateral movement that I'm seeing so far from Valentine. He's doing a great job of using his length, using his reach, and really offsetting the rhythm of Ferguson. Got it, my pig is not quite got going yet. He's still dangerous, though. Do not count him out. If he sees an opportunity, if he smells blood, if that shark smells that blood in the water, he's going to bite, he's going to go after it, and that's exactly what Got it, my pig will do.
Yeah, he's just biting every single time. He's looking for the blood, but so far, Valentine's having the success, getting the starter steps on every time he engages. 10 seconds left on the clock. Both of them seem just to be calm to let this first round just hit her out with the beginning fights.
I want to bring attention to the fact that one of the things that has maybe affected Valentine in the past, because he's a phenomenal talent. I met him when he first came onto the game. He had an interesting approach where he was developing individual core skills, Humble, for quite some time, and now he's kind of hit that all-round package. But he's had issues with kind of just feeling comfortable under the pressure in that moment, and I was gonna say he seems to have risen to that here this evening, but Gamp has stepped it up in this second round, already get a knockdown, and now he finds himself in half guard with a lot of time to work.
Yeah, I've just got my cross out.
Instant reversal here, just looking for the top man as well. That was a very quick time in narrowing this ground and pound. Ferguson on the back foot, having on top. Valentine looks clean, especially since his other league fights where he's always had a bit of nerves. Evidently the nerves are gone from this, and he's content with the way he's playing so far.
Yeah, but Doctor, do not forget, he just got dropped a second ago, so we've got to keep the idea that Got it, my pick, still not out of this fight, even if he's on his bottom at the moment. If he gets back to his feet, it will be the same questions that Cyrus was asking a second ago. Valentine was doing fantastic, but did get dropped. You can't take too many of them. You can't get dropped too many times, especially against Got it, my pick, Cyrus.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, when it hits the mat, Gotti, my pig, although Valentine finds himself in top control right now, honestly, I fear this man on the ground. God, my pig is a scary man on the mat, whether it be on bottom or in top. So the longer it stays here, I just feel the longer it's going to favor God, my pig as he gets a couple of denies off, a couple of elbows, and continues to pump this full guard position, which is, it's a dangerous one to be in. Good separation by Valentine.
Yeah, good read there. Top mount in the full guard as well. Full guard's this neutral position where if the guy on bottom has a good full guard, there's just no point in trying to get out of it. You're better off just looking at a takedown, going for a different approach. With that being said, though, we have both engaging on the feet. You have also got to remember, as you mentioned, Humble, that Valentine is down.
Oh!
A knockdown, but already it seems like both of them want another knockdown here.
Starting to find his range though now, and got it. My pig is starting to touch Valentine in between those combinations. He doesn't quite have the stamina to set everything up, and now got it. My pig has smelled something. He has smelled and feared and got through something in that round. He's realized that the ground game, he's exactly what Cyrus said. He's a dominant force on the ground. I once asked Zeus who the best player or the best ground player is on, apart from him, obviously, because T4H guys, and he said, "God, my pig is one of the best grapplers he's played on this game." So he's got the credentials everywhere. People know him from all over the place.
Exactly right. And I mean, look, like I said, Valentine's actually doing a really good job here of, kind of surviving, getting some good denials off. He actually forces Gamp back to his feet, or maybe that was the decision for the last 60 seconds to let some hands fly out there, because that Gamp likes to bring the action to the cage dock, as does KM Valentine, which is why this is such a beautiful featured fight for these prelims.
Oh, God, already engaging on the feet there. Both of them playing a very aggressive game. Jab, jab, straight. Overhand doesn't get the through. Spin, elbow, flying knee, uppercut, lead hook, and you've got 20 seconds left, and both of them are already just wanting to get past that block just to get one knockdown in their favor by the seems at Humble. Oh,
he's got his head blinking right now, though. The combinations, the striking, the beautiful range finding of Valentine in the first round has gone to kaput. Is absolutely took that range away. He's took that distance that Valentine was doing so well away, and Valentine needs to find that back. He fake gloves, touches him, bashes him in the head. He's going to get the overhand finish. Valentine, can he survive right now, Cyrus? This could be it.
Oh my God, brother.
Oh, that's got to piss him off.
Yeah. For a KM Valentine that was showing composure throughout the course of the evening, that is one way to get under a man's skin right there. Gamp, fake glove touching the man, getting the knockdown and some follow-up shots. Bro, I'm a little bit speechless. I was not expecting that from Gamp, Doc.
Well, Gamp's already throwing the uppercuts there. He's now starting to get clipped. The aggressiveness, he's evidently got frustrated. And
he woke him up.
Spinning elbow there. We saw the spin. We saw him trying to become a Beyblade at the end of the last round, and probably trying to continue such. But with that being said, you've got Valentine playing a very fun game as well here.
Oh, and Valentine's starting to find his range now. That really woke him up, even though God in my pig had some big damage on there. Valentine seemed he was a bit of a process. He couldn't quite find his range before, and now he's starting to press his opponent back and not let him take the center of the octagon. He's starting to have a bit more success at that range, and God in my pig's going to be looking to put the pressure on. Just like you said, though, he needed to mix it up. He needed to make it dirty. He needed to do that to kind of take Valentine out of it, and he's known for it, Cyrus. So what a great tactic to kind of miscue him and misdirect him. And don't touch gloves with your opponent. I'm telling everybody, don't do it.
I mean, if that was a lesson, that... Oh, but Valentine hits him with the hook. Oh, my God.
He misses it.
Oh.
Could you imagine, brother? That would have been a little bit of calmer. I can't lie.
But that's the thing. You wake up the giant, don't you? Wake up. Sometimes people do this to me, and I completely forget where I'm at when I'm playing the game. And all of a sudden, I turn it on. But look at this. Got it. My pig is starting to catch him with another front kick. He says, "Eat my toes," and smell them again, Looney.
Only 2 minutes left in this third and final round of the featured fight of the prelims. KM Valentine, after some adversity in this third, has been woken up, Doc, answering back with some big shots, but God ain't my pig is turning it up. He's taking that advantage, and he is running with it.
The head tail for Valentine. Oh. This is a scary position to be in. He's back against the cage.
It's caught.
Every shot. Taunting on him, now getting him into the top man. Rain down. His ground pound goes down with a minute left on the clock.
Posturing up again, and he looks like he's going to get a finish after playing with his opponent. Ultimate Cat just teasing and prodding the bird before he thinks he can get away and catching him back in his hand. But it's a mistake, because we all know the capability and the comeback ability of Valentine. We just seen it a second ago. Is good at it. My pig kind of letting him off the hook right now.
Oh! Valentine does not take these things lightly, Doc. He is trying, fighting tooth and nail for this finish. Only 8 seconds left. I mean, oh my God, bro.
This is scary indeed. That we call an end to round 2, and it looks like God Open Pig gets the win.
Why is this on the prelims? No, I'm joking. This is an absolutely insane fight. What a prelim feature fight we've got right now. They finished? I thought they were still going.
No, that was the third one, brother. That was the third one. Gamp gets the victory, 29-27 across the board. So I'd like to see the statistics.
That's a crazy fight.
But no, we will skip on. That's okay. That was a crazy fight. I expected exactly what we got, which was two incredibly entertaining veterans going out there, leaving it all in the cage, Dog, and that is definitely what we seen here this evening, with a little bit of a life lesson maybe mixed in there, which is don't try to touch gloves with your opponent, especially if their name is Gamp and they want a W to start off Season 3 of the Xbox division.
Indeed, he wanted that W and it saw, but you also got to see that end of the last round. That was probably Valentine's most aggressive round. He turned the tapered off to the end of round 2, but then as soon as he got that fake glove charge, he started coming out and was looking for the blood of Gamp at the end.
Yeah, he did a great job. I'd like the switch up, even though we kind of don't condone these sort of actions. It's you're in there, you're fighting, you've got to try and trick your opponent, you've got to try and get them, and sometimes, you know, fake glove touching people, that might be the game changer, that might be what changes it out, especially when your game plan might be to make your opponent lose some composure, because that's where they perform the best, and that's what looks like Gamp tried to do. And even though you might not like it, it was effective, Cyrus, and that's the key.
Yeah, no, exactly right, man, exactly right. And I mean, he was out there. He's trying to win, bro. He's trying to win. You can't hate on the man, I suppose. Valentine will be a little bit annoyed, I'm sure, especially after some early successes. I mean, the way he started out that fight was the best that we've seen him look in a long time, Dog. You know, really, really seemed dialed in, tuned up, and calm and composed for that bout. But with all of this being said, my guys, we are moving on to the first fight of this main card. It is going to be a man that we know and love around the community on both sides, and that is going to be the one and only Proper Steve, the comeback king, sort of speak, up against FSK's very own competitor, a man that has been doing a lot of work around the community, helping people and training them recently, feels that he has kind of rounded out that defensive game, looks to showcase a mixture of that defensive ability there, Doc, along with the kind of offensive capabilities that he has, the mix-ups to the bodies and the such.
Yeah, Comp is a fantastic fighter. So is Steve. Both of them have the ability, as you mentioned, to mix up to the body, mix up to the head. Comp's is slow, cool fighters, making sure stick out the jab first and building off of it. I was fighting him earlier, and that was his entire game plan. Is he sticks out that jab over and over and over again, hoping for you to find a spot. Whilst on the other hand, you have Comp. You have Steve, who's a very McGregor-like style. He will play it very slow, then fast, slow, fast. He's going to look for you to make those types of mistakes.
Yeah, it definitely is. Look at this again. We're going to have an Aldo versus Jan pick, it looks like. And these guys have got a bit of knowledge on each other as well, from them too. So it'd be interesting. You've got that. The perks of going forward, force and nature perks, as we always talk about, but Aldo has been upgraded significantly in certain areas, especially his boxing and his clinch game as well has also been upgraded. So great one to see if he can neutralize the Peter Yan or the Peter Yan pick, because I do believe this is the current champion. He is the person who should have been crowned, the uncrowned champion, I guess you could say. He is the interim champion. He will be fighting Sterling soon, but I think definitely Peter Yan is the best person in that division at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he has the all-round package. The grappling is obviously quite skilled, although we don't often see it from him. The striking is really where it's at there, Doc. The ability to push forward, put the pressure on, and really, really effectively kind of melt his opponents down is often what leads to Peter Yan's success. But Jose Aldo, especially with these buffs, he's so powerful. If he's able to implement his game plan early and get that kind of power Muay Thai off, a lot of the time his opponents just can't get past that barrage.
Yeah, both of them have a very barrage nature. Jan's always there. He's always going to be in your face, especially if your opponent can get the jab off. Aldo, on the other hand, he's slow, methodical, calm pace, but can quickly get out of control if you're using the right fighter.
He definitely can. These guys have readied up and they're ready to face off in the octagon to start the main card of Primetime this evening. Thank you guys for tuning in. You're about to see some classic beatdowns going on in the Primetime's division, and as we've been talking about all the way throughout, it is a new season. Finishes do mean a lot more now in round 1, round 2, and round 3, so these guys might be coming out to put on a show, but the controller looks like it's disconnected, Cyrus. We've got some trouble already.
I think that might be the bug that occasionally happens. He's managed to correct it. Hopefully we don't have a repeat of something that we potentially saw a little bit earlier on, but they're starting out quickly. Propesty coming with all that fire here this evening. Dog landing a high, kind of volume of the strikes that he's throwing so far.
Well, high volume is what Comp wants. He wants you to gas out. He wants you to work it all the way down. He wants you to do it, and then that allows him to find his own shots. He's going to be the one playing at a slow pace. He wants to find his shots after you throwing, because they do more damage that way. And so far, that seems to be the pace. Comp's on the back foot. Steve's leading, but neither of them are really actually taking hold of the fight just yet.
Nice work, though, coming back through. And yeah, you're right. It's a filling out process at the moment. Neither of them have kind of took control of the fight, but that's what you're looking for in the next minute or two, for one person to kind of land a few more combinations than the other person to start using those reads and the knowledge that they've gained. It's still early on, though, so still kind of feeling each other out, but I can see competitor landed them 4 pieces and they seem to be cracking his opponent Propesty on the face at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, Propesty is historically a man that starts a little bit slower, but in this fight, he came out firing from the bit, managed for the first 60 seconds to get a lot of nice head movement off, a lot of good body shots, which is affecting the stamina of Comp a little bit. But on that point, Comp traditionally is also a man that gets better as the fight goes on. Dog, his adjustments, his ability to make reads in the moment are second to none, and often why he gets his hand raised more often than his opponents.
Yeah, just making sure to be able to read your opponent, and from that, it's the adjustments as well. We've mentioned the adjustments a few times tonight. If you can adjust before your opponent can, it plays such a dividends to how your entire fight style works. Making sure you can read, make sure you can adjust, and as you can see here, Comp went from the back foot onto the front foot, and Steve's struggling to stay alive here.
Nice switch up.
Takedown there.
Nice switch up there, though, and that's what you got to do. You got to make it dirty if you're in this competition. You can't just be striking with great strikers, especially as they're starting to offload their shots, offload their combinations, and find their footing, find their feet in the octagon. You've got to mix it up, make them feel uncomfortable, make them recalculate everything they're doing. And Propesty is back to the feet now. It'll be interesting to see who gains the upper hand with the footwork at the moment, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, it's still a very, like you say, early point in the fight. Only a minute left in this first round. But this is the point now where people start to really, really let loose with the shots that they're throwing. It can lead to some big shots being landed or whiffed out here, Doc. And I expect that to potentially be the case as these guys start to get second by second closer to the second round.
Yeah, the second round. 30 seconds left in this round so far, though. I wouldn't say has taken control and is leading this fight. Although Steve started aggressive, it evidently spaces, and Comp took over. Both of them still going back and forth. That switch kick comes out a couple of times. Hopefully, I think he's planned to do a bit of body work, but the stamina of Comp is still fairly high for how fast he's been thrown for a lot of this round. Humble.
He's starting to feel his feeling of how he back his opponent up, and when he lands them 4 pieces, he's trying to do it against the fence because it limits the motion of his opponent. So even though he's landing certain combinations out in the open, they aren't as effective as when he's going to land them against the fence, because he's also going to get those extra knockdowns, the fence take, and then he can start grappling his opponent as well if he needs to. He just has a lot more choice when he does back his opponent up. It's how he closes the distance and when, and at the moment it's been later on in the rounds, but Steve doing a good job of mitigating that as well, Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly right. I think that both guys making excellent reads on each other. I have to say that the volume that Steve is landing to the body is absolutely fantastic for him, for somebody that, like Comp, who traditionally likes to kind of play that stamina game against his opponents. That can be a little bit off-putting, but I know the savvy of this man, as you see with the combinations, he just gets a little bit more active, and then he punishes them, Humble, trying to go to the body in a big way.
Yeah, he definitely does. He just missed out on that big knee right there, Doctor, and nearly caught him slipping.
Nearly got him slipping there. The body, he threw a lot of shots. You saw his gas tank nearly empty, and then Comp tried to capitalize on it. The leg kicks as well, doing some lovely jobs there. Does catch him as he comes forward, but again, that straight lead hook of Comp seems to constantly land either on the block or the chin, and it's doing so much damage here. I feel like, Humble.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot more footsies. We're starting to see a lot more people positioning themselves in a certain way to try and land their strikes and feel out that process as we move up in the fight, and the ability, the crazy knockdown comes right there from Jan, and he's going to try and get some more damage against the fence, Cyrus.
Yeah, and Comp is, once again, the type of guy that will really, really turn on the pressure when he gets the opportunity. He does like to play positional awareness in the cage, really likes to take charge, take the center of that cage, get you pressed up against that cage for all of the reasons that you spoke about earlier on there, Humble. And as you see right here, the combination's not landing in the quickest fashion, but definitely landing at a high volume and bleeding through that block.
Nice work right there. Goes back to the boy, and he gets caught with a face. I like how he's doing such a good job of defending as well. Like, he's not getting caught with a lot of shots, even on the block. He's doing a great job of being out the way, or it's hitting my block. It's not going to do a cumulative amount of damage to my block because it's only one shot at a time. So he's doing a great job of just pressing his opponent out. And like we talked about a second ago, if you go right, I'm going to kick you from the right. If you go left, I'm going to kick you from the left. And then if you decide you're going to stand still, I'll throw shots that are going to make you defend. And that's what he's doing, Doc.
He's just making sure he's always peppering it. He's never letting Steve touch him either, and that's working fantastically in his favor. And Steve's starting to get a really nice jab, ducking under it. But again, if the jab isn't landing, Comp isn't throwing anything behind it. And now he's driving back as soon as he sees that Steve's gassed Looney.
Yeah, and obviously I've been speaking quite largely about the body kind of attacks that Steve's been putting out there, but he's been high kick volumes. His stamina seems to be short, and so is the chin health, Humble. We see FSK Comp picking up a big W for him and his camp. Nice way for him to come into this season, and he looked pretty clean, man. Like I said, Steve came out pretty hot in the first minute or so, but after that point, Comp was just able to kind of take over.
Yeah, calculated fight IQ that he's got. It's a brilliant thing to watch, and you can slowly see him systematically breaking down his opponent with his footwork, with his shot selection, and he offloads when he's not in danger because he knows his opponent's moving, so they can't be thrown while they're moving, and they're also highly vulnerable when they're moving. So he prods them to move, makes them move, and when they do move, that's where he starts to strike and land beautiful combinations, and those combinations are devastating, Doctor.
Yeah, but they are just devastating. You have the jab following, and then past that, it just makes it life so difficult to really find any types of holes in Comp's game plan.
Exactly. Well, on that note, we are at a very, very nice stage of this entire event. That was the, of course, first fight of the main card. We, in total, now have, I believe it to be 6 more fights scheduled ahead of us. And at this stage, we are going to take a very quick opportunity to take a 60-second, 2-minute pause before we move into the rest of the card. Make sure to get yourself your nice refreshments, a little bit of a toilet break, whatever you may need to do so that you do not miss any of the action that we have coming up on this, on the fights that are remaining, Humble. I expect big things. I mean, we have some straight killers out there. Sorry, dog.
Yeah, we do have some straight killers top to bottom from the main card. Of course, you have Trixie at the very top. You have Motown as well. You have Fadna. You have Bang Bang. Should we mention him? He's a mental person. God, I love watching him fight. He'll come at you like a mental person and he'll press you to all hell. We also have Tad also making his return against the ever mighty Rara Looney.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, like we say, lots of fun fights ahead of us. We will be back with you very, very shortly. Until then, much love. Stay safe. We'll be right back. What is going on, everybody? We are back at it. We have 6 fights left in this main card ahead of us of Primetime 47, I believe it was. Could be wrong, 47. But up next, we have 2 guys that we know very, very well within the community out here. Doc, going to throw it to you first. Of course, we have Brady on the cards, a man that we've seen fight both on the PlayStation and on the Xbox side, and somebody that's come through, you know, in a pretty big way on the PlayStation side. One of Humble's very own, KIA Notorious. I expect a big thing on the big fight, sorry, on the PlayStation side from these 2 competitors.
No, definitely. And Kai Notorious, you know, he's notorious for going with Notorious, so it'll be interesting to see who he picks tonight, because he is an Irish lad and he likes to represent, and a fantastic competitor. One of the guys who, when I first brought him onto the team, when he first came over, I was getting messages about him saying, you know, who is this guy? He fights so well, he fights so clean, he fights so nice. I like fighting this guy. He's absolute war every time. And he really developed, and he's turned out. He's actually the leader of KIA now. I say the leader. He sorts everything out for us. He always organises the team for spars, etc. He's really took on that role, and it's really important of him to do so. But on the other hand, we have Brady. Brady wants to make a splash. I think it's his first time that he's fighting from this season and last season, so I haven't seen too much of Brady yet, but I'm expecting big things, especially with a 5-0 on Notorious. Not many people have that, trust me.
No, Brady is a guy that's really, really developed his skills quite nicely. You know, since we first saw him out here, Dog, he's a player that joined and, you know, had quite mediocre skills, but skyrocketed very, very quickly. Started training with some, you know, high-level opponents, and they really, really sharpened up his skills and have kind of taken him to the next level. And we've seen that time and time out now, both in Primetime and other promotions.
Yeah, Brady has really improved since he began. He began being a 1-2 head kick spammer pretty much and not being able to grapple. And from that, he's really evolved, he figured out how to use his power hand, how to use his power leg. He has an entire knack for it. His game is built around it. If you're going to back out the pocket, you're going to be met by a body kick in terms of Brady. Notorious has got to be wary of that, as well as be wary of that rear hook.
Yes, sir. Well, looking at the betting line, KIA Notorious is the favorite leading into this one, which, you know, is interesting to note. Maybe just a lot of support backing him in the back. Humble, know that your KIA boys are probably out in force trying to cheer on Notorious right here, right now.
Yeah, they've all played him. They all know the ability of this man, and they all know that 5-0 means nothing. This guy, he shows up when the big events happen, and he always does a fantastic job of landing the shots he needs to land or doing some damage. If he's going down with a fight, and that's exactly what you're seeing right now. These 2 mirror matching each other, Doc, and you're getting some fast hands coming at each other at the moment.
Yeah, both of them just already looking for shot after shot there.
Honestly, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Notorious and the bodywork early. He is doing a fantastic job of getting his head off that center line, going for lead body hooks. Seems to be getting returned for Brady, but he just doesn't seem to have the timing on it, Humble, because KIA Notorious is firing back some combinations and getting a little bit out of range.
Yeah, you see it last night as well with Filthy Uncle Ben Taj, as we call him, and him and Notorious, all the Irish boys have been really digging into each other in the spars and playing with each other and using these body attacks, setting things up, anticipating shots back, and really working in the lab on their craft. And you can see that with the striking at the moment. But I'm liking what Brady's doing as well. He's starting to attack the leg of Notorious, even if it is with an intercepting of a check. But that's really important, of stopping the movement and stopping the kicking game from Notorious. And he's doing a great job of going high and low.
I like
Up and down is the name of the game here. You kick out the base, you're going to end up being allowed to get to the heart of the matter, which in this case is the chin. Loney and both of them are doing a fantastic job going high-low in this instance.
Yeah, exactly right. I have to say that just kind of much on the point that we were saying on the last fight with Comp, obviously in his matchup, Brady is normally a guy that's able to make the adjustments as the course of the fight goes on, but I have to say out here, Humble, that he may have a difficult time doing so, because KIA Notorious landing high amounts of damage as he flatlines him with a head kick.
Killers in action right now. Notorious going for the finish. Could he get it? This could be it for Brady, and Notorious doesn't get that killer blow that he needed, and Brady hangs on by the skin of his teeth, and they're going to stand back up now, Doctor. Whoever, if Brady can stop Notorious from kind of coming on, it'll be interesting to see going into the second round. But at the moment, Notorious having his way with Brady.
Yeah, Brady's on the back foot now. Notorious is just pit-patting those shots, doubles up to the body shots. Now coming up top with that rear hook, digs up top, down, and then below. That is just the way you want to do this. Make your opponent confused. Tucks into it, doesn't get any counter majorly, Looney. With that being said, you got 20 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, I'd say not a lot of time, but they can make it a lot of time when they start unloading with those hands. Seem to be pretty content to move on to the next one. A couple of feints in each other's faces, into the head kick to close out that round. I have to say, action-packed in the first round. KIA Notorious doing a real good job of putting on an excellent account of his abilities in that round. He has to continue that momentum because obviously Brady will make adjustments if he's given the opportunity, Humble, and quite clearly he needs that right now to get himself back into this fight.
Yeah, and we're going to see what type of player he is. You know, those sort of adjustments are what makes somebody who's really good. And Notorious will make adjustments as well. But at the moment, he seems to have some good success in that round. But if Brady wants a chance to kind of come back, it's right now. We'll see the character of Brady, Doc.
Yeah, the character of Brady's already starting to come back. Although Notorious has gotten clipped a few times, it seems like the main game is although the leg of Notorious, I've just noticed, is now constantly blinking like a traffic light, and you've got to be wary of that as you go further into this round. Although Brady is growing like a bit of a mental man load.
Yeah, those leg kicks are definitely starting to stack up. I think Notorious has to recognize that, and he does switch his stance. I think you'd be happy to see that out of your campmate there, Humble. But now that leg's kind of on retreat, the stamina advantage, the kind of head health advantage he has means that he can probably start to let go with those hands a little bit more in the pocket.
Yeah, and I'm going to teach you a little bit of a trick as well sometimes, guys. You've got two legs. As long as you can fight in Southpaw and Orthodox, what you're kind of doing is you're giving up leg health for head health, and your opponent will give up that head health and become a bit easier to finish. And, you know, you do it at the last minute and you change the stance. They've got to start working at the legs again or change their game plan. So as long as you can fight from both, and we all can in KIA, as long as you can fight from both of those stances, you're absolutely fine.
Yeah, exactly, brother. Absolutely right. That is why it's so important to have a diverse skill set and not concentrate too much on some of the pitfalls of switching stances. But right now, Notorious gets another stun. He seems to be getting the better of the exchange when it comes to the leg health, the head health, Doc, and he's really trying to turn it on with only 2 minutes left in this round.
Yeah, you can kick out someone's leg, but if your opponent's head is gone completely, then they ain't gonna have a fun time, and that's definitely the case with Brady. Notorious just pitter-patting in multiple ways, looking for that one opening to finally land a big shot, Humble.
Yeah, and I want to see Notorious not kind of overexert himself in these shots. I want to see him pitter-patter and take his opponent out of there methodically now, because he's got low stamina and so has Brady, but a missed opportunity on the end of a fourth strike is different from a missed opportunity on the end of the first strike. So he's ahead, needs to stay ahead and get a big finish right now, Cyrus.
Yeah, the up kick of Doom manages to keep Brady in it once again, and he continues to chop at that leg and look for the slip-off counters here, Doc, but this is an incredibly close bout. That leg could give in at any moment, but it does seem to be holding up long enough for the damage from Notorious to stack up. This is fantastic work from him.
His head health is now blinking over and over. A couple of shots by McGregor is just all it needs to either one of them, but I feel like it's more the case of Brady here, Humble, with 20 seconds left of the second round.
Yeah, I just like Notorious's kind of game. He's got to keep on his front foot, though. He can't let Brady kind of back him up, and that's where Brady's having success, when he's backing his opponent up and making him overreact, essentially.
Yeah. Well, that was, let's say, an entertaining round, to say the least. We do have at least another 5 minutes scheduled ahead of us in this bout. Of course, these are a Conor McGregor mirror match. We have Brady on the left-hand side in the green shorts with Conor McGregor, and then, of course, on the reversal, KIA Notorious doing the damn thing with the hands this evening, absolutely firing combinations. Once again, that leg health slightly suspect at this stage, though, Dog. It's blinking at all points.
Blinking at all points is what you want to be when you're McGregor. McGregor of Notorious is just trying to finish Brady, but Brady's defense is staying fairly tight, fairly constricted, and now he's starting to make a comeback here, Looney.
I honestly just don't think Brady is the type of guy that quits. I mean, no matter where he is in the stage of the fight, he'll try to expose some sort of hole in your game, and then he will just hammer at that until he gets his hand raised. But Notorious just as game as they come, Humble. And he lands another 2, 3, 4-punch combination, emptying the gas tank trying to get the finish.
In the game, that came from being defensively sound. He never lost his composure when Brady was in his face right there. He knew that there was an opportunity coming. As long as he made him miss and stayed defensively sound, he was absolutely fine. And he now can stand in front of Brady because he's not going to hurt his Brady's not going to hurt his block too much, as he can't throw too much. So this is where Notorious could really light him up and try to pick him up for a big finish for in the third round extra point as well. We keep talking about that, Cyrus, but that's a fact.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You want a victory on your on your scorecard, but you want a finish in particular, and he gets slapped down.
That's a comeback and a half. Spartan War Notorious trying to keep stable, but so far Brady's body and health is blinking, but he's not being put down without some type of counters we saw earlier. Spartan getting a bit. Spartan War Notorious again going for it now.
Well, it gets dropped, and this could be it from Brady. Brady's going to have a chance to finish him, and this is going to be a comeback from hell if he does it. Oh my God, Notorious survives, and this is what I meant about Notorious needs to be defensively sound. He also needs to not overexert himself. As soon as he threw one of them spinning kicks, that's when Brady caught him. He needs to be prodding and poking and picking and not look for the finish. Essentially, the finish will come to you, and Brady's capitalizing on his anxiety to kind of go forward and try and get that.
Yeah, exactly right. Obviously, you want the finish, but not at the expense of taking a loss. Nice bodywork blocking from Notorious. Both guys showing excellent defense at that late stage right here, but the stamina is so low that every single shot hurts, Doc. The ground and pound may even be here for the finish.
May be there indeed. His head up non-existent. Brady somehow surviving ever so slightly. Gets a deny there. Gets back. I'm going to say with 20 seconds left.
Can he finish him?
Jumping off him. Trying to get the finish. He doesn't. So 15, 14.
This is insane. He survives again. We do not know how this game has not give him the win yet, and he's still in the fight. That's the crazy part. He's going to rejuvenate. He's going to get some water in his face. His corner's going to slap him about, and they're going to say, go out there and get the win. And this is a question of Notorious's will. Oh, is that the fight?
That's the fight, brother. That's the fight. That was the third and final round. I know it went by in a flash, but your boy got the job done. KIA Notorious putting on a fantastic performance here this evening, getting his hand raised, and yeah, I mean, in a tough battle, that's a great feather in his cap. Brady's no slouch, especially considering that he had a 5-0 lead on Notorious going into this one.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you can't take that. We talk about taking that number in vain. Like, it's nice talking point sometimes for us because, you know, it puts a question out there. But the problem is you take that number in and you go as fact. And it can flip over. The attention's different. The person's playing a bit different. They're wanting to win a bit more. The pressure's on. And that's where diamonds are made. You know, the pressure is where diamonds are made, Doctor. And tonight, the shining brightly was Notorious.
Yeah, Notorious did such a fantastic job. He came out there, peppered the body, peppered the head. It was all blinking across the board, and that's exactly the way he did it there.
Well, I think
we have. Go on, sorry.
No, as you were saying, bro.
I was going to say we're having a switch up. I believe we're having a switch up. If Jock can clarify this, we're going to be getting Ned versus Bang Bang next, I believe, Doc.
I believe so. We are.
And there's just been a quick switch up in the back, just for time and procedures, and this is what we're going to do. We're just going to move a quick fight around so people are prepared and ready to go. Ned versus Bang Bang, Cyrus. One of my favourite fights that got put together by the matchmaking team this week. And, you know, when this got proposed, I wasn't for it. I wasn't against it, put it that way.
Yeah, no, I expect, once again, I expect big things, right? I expect big things because Big Balls Ned, bro, he has like a certain energy about him that he brings to the cage, just a certain set of craziness where he really tends to put it on his opponents. He has the ability to fight off that back foot. He can take it down if he needs to, but he really does like to turn on the pressure. And when you're stepping across from somebody like Bang Bang, Doc, I mean, you don't expect anything other than him to be in your face throwing bombs. So if you wanted to fight in a phone box, this is the fight to do it in.
Yeah, both of them are light. Both of them love the pressure fighting style, and that's the way it goes. Neither of them are going to be aggressive in their nature, and it's just a hectic fight, Humble.
Yeah, it definitely is. And both of these guys have got multiple wins over me. So last season I got beat by Bang Bang as one of my losses, and Ned beat me twice out of my 4 losses all season. These were 2 of them, and the other one was the champion. So I know what it's like when, you know, these guys are in your face and throwing them at you, and I couldn't quite figure out the puzzle of Ned, and I couldn't quite figure out the puzzle of Bang Bang. But the question is, can they figure out the puzzle of each other? Because, you know, Bang Bang's a difficult one, and so is Ned. But Ned can also switch up his game, Cyrus. He's got that ground game as well if he needs it. He doesn't have to just rely on the strike, and he can be able to take his opponent down.
No, and that's an excellent point, brother. Like I said, the ability to do it all and the willingness to do it all as well. I was thinking we were going to see a Kamaru Usman up against Mike Perry pick, and honestly, I don't put it past. I genuinely don't put it past Bang Bang to go Mike Perry. It suits his overall style to an absolute T. If you had a combination of Mike Perry and Julian Lanes just saying "Let me bang, bro," that is that is Bang Bang kind of in a nutshell with the Gaethje sort of technique behind it. I expect an absolute brawl in this one, there, dog.
Oh, Bang Bang's going Mike Perry. We're in for a good time indeed. Big Balls Ned, who's known for the big ball, hopefully going to go a bit of a more mental pick as well to conduce with the Perry pick.
Get to see it, but we don't know what Ned's going to choose right now. He best hurry up though, because we're ready and ticking and waiting, Ned, in the back. You know, these decisions need to be made quickly, Ned. We are sat here ready, anticipating the bout as we go ahead. It looks like a smart little choice there. He has picked Colby Covington, known for his stamina, known for his takedown, known for mixing it up, and also got decent striking, Cyrus. Be able to take Bang Bang down if he needs to here, and he's picked the character to do so as well.
And I think that would be a smart approach. I think that Doc will agree that turning this into a wrestling match almost from the get-go, I think will go into his favor, right, Doc? I mean, just trying to build up some of that lactic acid in Mike Perry's arms, make sure that he isn't punching with as much of the ferocity as he normally is.
Well, the one thing to say about Bang Bang that it's illegal to do is to grapple him. That's only because it's the most sensible option you could do. So that being said, if we see him shoot a takedown would be ideal, but Bang Bang's already putting on this pressure. He's happy to stick Covington against the cage, just look for every shot he can and piece him up.
Yeah, the thing about Bang Bang is sometimes you feel like you're beating him, and sometimes you feel like you've got his number, and then he lands a hellish combination on your head, and that's where he catches you, and he does more damage on the aftermath, because he's a killer. He's a shark in water. He likes to, when he smells the blood, he goes after you, and it's usually when your stamina's at the lowest as well. He doesn't lose composure in his defense. But Big Balls Ned right now, I'm liking the work he's doing. I'd like to see mix him some takedowns, mixing some clinch in there as well, and get his back off the fence. It's not ideal. It's not where you want to be, Cyrus, against Bang Bang.
Because of reasons just like that, brother. Bang Bang lands a single uppercut, sends Big Balls Ned flying to the canvas, Doc. Try to get a couple of ground and pound in, but once again, this is part of Ned's realm. He is very comfortable on the mat.
Yeah, and Bang Bang wants no part of it. He wants back up on the feet. He wants to be countering people with those uppercuts, and he's doing so. He's seen land another one, couple of the hooks there. Blocks it. There's another knockdown humble, and this is where he
he catches it low. He goes back, and Colby Covington. This is a great time for him to kind of take some back of that octagon, but he's let his stamina go back, and that's going to let Bang Bang use his educated movement. As we talk about a jab later on, Bang Bang has educated movement when it comes to his style. His movement is the key. It's not about the punches that he's throwing, it's about the movement that he's making, about the distance and cutting off the cage constantly. He never follows his opponent's Cyrus. He's constantly stepping on the toes. Oh my god.
Yeah, and look at that right there. The shot selection from Bang Bang is really what sets him apart from his opponents in a lot of cases. That and the pressure, once again, a straight lands, and he may get the finish right here, right now. The ground and pound is raining down. But my God, Ned survives again, Doc. I don't know how the guy does it.
I'm not sure how he does it either now. Flipping over into that full guard. Covington on top, just hoping to get a slight bit of comeback there. Does get denied there, humble, when we see him move to half guard.
Yeah, definitely. And Bang Bang wants this win. You know, Bang Bang went 2-1 in the Grand Prix, lost to the champion at the moment, and he believes he was wronged in that fight. He believes he picked the wrong character selection. He wants that back. He wants to become the PT champion. He loves PT with all of his soul, so this means a lot to him. And it's the same for Big Balls Ned as well. He was close to trying to get a title shot last season. I think he did fight for a title shot, but close to getting it. And now he's dealing with Bang Bang raining it down on his head, Cyrus. He's got some adversity to go through right now.
Yes, sir. And look, Bang Bang may have heard us from, we may have the fight on in the back, because he, we were saying that, he doesn't want any part of Ned's grappling for reasons like that. Only a couple of seconds left, but Bang Bang has an underrated grappling game, dog. I think you can cast your mind back and remember a time where he did actually decide to wrestle for a match, and he did fantastically well.
Yeah, it's a really interesting time to see that Bang Bang knows how to grapple, knows how to take it down, to scare his opponents with that fact that he'll beat you up on the feet and then cuddle you afterwards. Whilst you're still hurt, is going to be definitely something to watch out for in the future. Big Ned trying to get the slips off Humble, but he's having no real success so far.
Yeah, he's not. It's look at the footwork again from Bang Bang. He's immediately stepping on his opponent's toes, and he stays in the pocket. He doesn't leave. When he follows his feet and he gets there, he stands on your feet and he just follows you backwards. He stays in your face constantly. Well, look at this from Ned, and this is the problem. Bang Bang's got a lot of space behind him. He can move back. He can get away from the shots, Cyrus. When it happens to Big Balls Ned, he's got a fence behind him, and look at where he is right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In that danger zone, and Bang Bang finds the shot to get the job done. Once again here this evening, Doc, the man is on a mission to get Primetime Gold, and he takes one step further. With that performance here this evening, that's an excellent showing from that man.
It's a lovely showcase of both of them fighting. Indeed, Bang Bang came out, looked like Bang Bang, and Ned just suffered the consequences of it, having his against Decay for the majority of the fight.
Yeah, do you not agree, though, out here, Humble, that I think that just to give Ned his dues, that guy was doing a great job of landing combinations on the inside. Maybe got him a little bit overconfident, right? As you highlighted, sometimes it can build your success because you're landing good shots, but just Bang Bang somehow changes you up on you every time.
Yeah, and the problem is it's saying one thing. Like, it's easy to armchair commentate, which is what we do in the commentary team a lot. So it's easy for me to say he should have done this, he should have done that, and there is space behind him. It's harder to do it in the cage because as soon as you're in there, the pressure's on. You're trying to make adjustments and calculate what's going on at the same time. And when you're getting caught like that, it throws you off. You don't know what to do. You start to panic. You start to make unnecessary adjustments that you don't need to make, and that's where Bang Bang capitalizes on that. But Ned did fantastic, like you said. It's going to take some adjustment to maybe go into the lab and making someone press you and try to do that. But there's a different beast in Bang Bang, and he's coming for that belt. You can tell he's up there, ready, knocking on the door, already asking for a title shot. And you've got a few characters in the PlayStation division at the moment that are all knocking at the door, including Filthy Uncle Ben, who had a fantastic performance yesterday as well. But we move on to the co-main event, and the co-main event this evening.
No, no. We skipped, brother. We skipped forward.
Of course we did. Of course we did.
It's all good. Don't worry. That is Vextad and Rasputin, TMF's very own. They do get to fight, of course. There's Hayes and Noggin. We're going to get straight into these ones. Vextad up against TMF's very own Rasputin. Two guys that are very, very well known within the community. Had a lot of ups and downs. Interesting and highlight reel finishes on both sides of the equation. Come to think about it, with some flying knees and some spinning attacks, and obviously those flurries of combinations, Doc. But this is an interesting bout between two very, very well-known competitors within Primetime MMA.
Yeah, both of them well-known, both of them well-versed within being veterans. And without further ado, let's get straight into this fight. Both of them aggressive, both of them know how the game works, and hopefully the nerves aren't too bad as they enter into their fights.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry there. 100%. I was going to say Aldo pick against Conor McGregor as well. We might see a flash KO, Cyrus.
Potentially, brother, potentially. I mean, Tadpole is the man. He's the human highlight reel himself. I mean, look, Tadpole has maybe fought at a higher kind of level of competition out of the two of them, right? But Rara's a very, very young kid. He's made fantastic adjustments, and I have to say one of the standout things from this kid is that the adjustments he's made in his stand-up. He had a bit of a bad showing recently, but on the whole, it seems to have improved massively, and I think that that's going to be vital to him having any success here, because you can already see out here, Doc, that Tad is not wasting any time pouring on the pressure.
No, Tad's not wasting any time, but Rara's kicking out the legs. He knows McGregor's power is going to be the biggest issue, so let's kick the base out, let's make that the weakest part, and then we can start trading in the pocket. Seems to be his game plan here. Tad's having no business. He just wants that head health gone and done within a round by the seems at Humble.
Yeah, definitely. And Rara obviously just missed out on the Xbox Grand Prix. Just like I think he was like 16th or 17th place, something like that. And he just missed out. So he'd be good. He want to be having a dominant start to the season. It'd be the same as Tad as well, who actually did finish in the top 15, but wasn't able to make the Grand Prix. So it'll be interesting to see how Tad kind of approach this one, especially since he's just changed camp as well, Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly right. And when you change camp, sometimes that can have profound benefits or negatives on your success in the cage. I imagine that with somebody like Tad, it's only ever going to benefit them having fresh bodies to train with, as you see some crispy pull counters right there. But once again, I mean, look, I am impressed with the way that Rara is landing such a high percentage here, Doc. And look at those sidesteps. It's just, he's looking like a different man when it comes to the striking realm.
Well, Raran knows that McGregor's going to put the pressure on, and so he's just using the straights, using any type of leg kicks he can just to pitter-patter McGregor, trying to get the counters off. The leg kicks were working. Tad's got a bit of a read on them, and so it's caused a bit of an issue. That jumping spin kick to the body has done some success, though, Humble.
Yeah, you can't take too many of them. Those are good shots to the liver, but Tad is coming on now and he's pouring it forward. He's going for the boxing combinations of Conor McGregor. It looks like they've got a bit of an issue with the stream. Hopefully it gets straight back to where it is. There we go. As Tad was in a great position right there, but you know, he's done a good patter in the head and he's doing it again, Cyrus. This could be a finish.
Yeah, the upkick of doom once again saves another man's soul. Jose Aldo able to hold on for a couple more moments and land in a couple of nice shots, Dog. Rara trying to rally and answer back, get that respect from back from Tad to stop some of that offense coming his way.
Stopping that offense coming Rara's way is the key of this. It's just the fact of McGregor hits like a truck, and getting hit as an Aldo is gonna not be a fun time. We saw how quickly Aldo got put out in real life. It's similar in game, especially with McGregor's power, Humble, and it's just not something you ever want to try to trade with.
Yeah. Oh, big shot right there. Gets caught with a check left hook from the sidestep from Tadpole, and Rara is in trouble right now. He's dealing with some adversity from a very determined and a very angry Tadpole. He seems like he's got a chip on his shoulder. He really wants to perform here, Cyrus.
Yeah, it's unfortunate with the slight interruptions, man. I want to see this mastery on display. Both guys really, really digging deep and finding good shit to land right now, just to be, you know, like straight up with you. But as you said, Tadpole does seem focused, lasered in at the challenge at hand. He just has to be careful not to be too tunnels focused, Doc. And walk onto something like that, brother.
Oh.
Body kick there follows quickly. Tad's still stunned. Aldo's trying to put on this pressure. He knows, he smells blood in the water. Rara's just coming back and forth against him. He's a couple of knockdowns down though, but with an end to round one, this puts us straight into round two, Humble.
Yeah, he kind of equalised some of the damage mitigation from there, even though Tadpole got some of the rocks and stuff. The head health was starting to go slightly for Tadpole, so he's going to have to keep an eye on that. And it is a shame about the stream. It is their stream, guys, not ours. They are streaming, we are copying their stream, so we're having some issues with their stream at the moment. Hopefully they get that back together, but when they do, it's been a decent fight, and they have been calculating each other's hands and movements and sort of combination, Cyrus, and it's been a very interesting bout so far.
Yeah, completely and utterly agree with you. The sidesteps from Jose Aldo have been on point. Rara once again looking like a man possessed here this evening. Advancements clearly made in his game. Did not take that Ricardo fight lightly and has a point to prove, like you say, a chip on his shoulder. But much the same can be said out here for Tadpole, Doc. With the way that he is approaching this fight, he's known for that pressure, but this seems a little bit different here this evening. He seems to be kind of taking it to that little bit of a next level in terms of forward momentum.
His camp name, Vexed, is the way I would describe him. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants Rara to die. The stream probably is annoying to some extent as well. You got to imagine. So far, both of them were playing a steady pace.
Yeah, it's great action we're seeing right now as well, Cyrus. Both guys kind of looking at each other for a long period of time in the center of the octagon, and neither of them throwing, just looking at what type of shots they're going to take, taking a breath, taking a minute. Should be done more like a corner, you know, a break time, but like they're back in the center, back picking the shots and looking for the shot that's going to be the kill one.
Oh, it's a straight. They're both trading the straight there. You see the jabs coming out and then the straight being fired behind it. So far, Rara's having a bit more success, I feel like, than McGregor, but that can quickly change, especially with the constant power as you've been mentioning through this entire fight so far. Then.
Yeah, honestly, I think Rara right now is having the right approach and just trying to prod and poke at the head health over all of Tadpole's out here. Tadpole seems like, honestly, maybe a little bit frustrated. Rumor has it here, Humble, that the robot, the giant doll robot from Squid Game, is actually staring at them at this very moment, and this is why they have frozen in spot. They do not want to move and lose their opportunity to continue in life. Never mind this fight.
Yeah, then that's a good reason to do that, right? But Tadpole has come out now, and they're playing Squid Games while also playing a UFC fight. It's a crazy thing we're seeing right this moment. But Tadpole's trying to mean business right now. Beautiful work. I love that body shot. Goes back to the head, hits him with a uppercut, and this could be his chance to finish the fight. But Jose Aldo says no, and Rara's still in it until now.
Well, when they said go, when that head turned back around, Tadpole went 100 miles an hour, Doc. Absolutely just sprinted at Rara Rasputin and took this fight by the horns, so to speak.
He really did. He took the horns. He just went off at him, and Rara had no ability to recover. He looked so good. The changes in his game were lovely to see, but turns out Tab was just a better striker overall.
Although I love both fighters, Humble, that was also a very fun fight. A little bit difficult, like I said, with the technical issues. I'm interested to see where they both go from here. Know that these types of things are not the normal with them. And unfortunately, these things happen. But it does take us on to the very next bout of the evening, brother. I'm going to throw this one to yourself. It's going to be Vex Hayes, a man that looked fantastic recently, showcasing some of those hands, has a lot of people's interests peaked. Taking on one of TMF's very own in Noggin, a man that was, I believe, making the top 16 come the end of last season.
It definitely was, and this is also painted a picture of today. We had Vex Lex fight in the first fight. He won his fight. We've had Tadpole fight in the main card as well, and he beat Rara. And the last Vex guy is fighting today to go 3-0. Essentially, they're trying to put their camp on a map. There is a story in that as well. And the TMF guys, they're very proud TMF guys. They haven't had the best night tonight. Like Night Legacy got beat, and Noggin needs to kind of come back and prove it, showcase his team, because one team potentially could go 3-0 and the other team could go 0-2. So it's not the best, and Noggin representing his team right now against his.
Well, look, to put it simply, right, Noggin is no slouch. This kid comes prepared each and every time. There's a reason that, he didn't, I think he actually had to pull out last second, but there's a reason he was able to make that Grand Prix in terms of just where he ended up the last season. Billy Cawley, I have to say, man, for a little while, he was kind of running, I think it was kind of actually coined by myself, but Humble Hayes is what he was called for a little while out here, Humble. But this kid has gone back to his own old ways, the Conor McGregor-esque sort of vibe of talking a lot of trash, kind of picking his shots. And he believes that he's going to do this with ease and then, kind of catapult himself into future title talks if he's able to keep that momentum. He has a lot of belief in himself, this kid.
It definitely, and I told him to change his name, so he did. There's only one Humble around, so he couldn't do it. But I'm joking. But here's a fantastic competitor. And like I said, we're going to get to see who has the more composure tonight. Noggin is a great player in himself. He went 3-1 last season and did a fantastic job in that ascent. And Hayes was on the cusp, but didn't have enough fights, so a bit more injury prone. He needs to kind of have some consistency this season, not be so injury prone, and put himself up the ladder for them title shots. Put himself in the big matches, because this is a big match already at the start of the season, Doctor.
A big match already indeed. Hayes in the red gloves, Noggin in the blue. Both yarns already going at it. They're swinging for the fences. The head kick gets slid off already, Looney, and there's no feeling out process during this fight.
Exactly right. I feel like Noggin is utilizing the jab a lot at this stage in the fight. That is forcing Billy Cawley, also known as Vex Hayes these days, Humble, to move that head up the center line. And Noggin may be able to capitalize on that if he makes the reads, throws a hook behind that jab. That head is there for the taking.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the footwork at the moment. We've seen it throughout the countless times as well. Who kind of controls the footwork with the PT and does really well usually, especially as the later rounds go on. And it would look like it would be Vex Hayes at the moment that's got that centre of the octagon. But you can see Noggin starting to fire back. He looks like he's happy to fire from the outside. It's just the inevitable pressure, Doctor, that comes with that.
Yeah, the inevitable pressure of just being against the cage, it brings the issue. Noggin's got to change up face here, otherwise he's going to get clipped by something. The head movement or the footwork's going to just narrowly screw up in some way. I see that a head kick slips through, of course, as well, Looney.
Yeah, he's gone to that head kick a few times now, and he's had a little bit of success with it. Noggin does need to recognize that, start to try to duck. Of course, easier said than done, especially when it's behind a flurry of combinations. And I mean, Humble Hayes, or Billy Cawley Hayes, Vex Hayes, is looking like he's drilled those combinations to the point that in his sleep, he could do this shit in his sleep right now. Those combinations coming out very, very fast there, Humble.
Yeah, it definitely is, and they're trying to take each other's head off at the moment, but I can see Noggin's trying to kind of take away a bit more of that cage from Hayes, but Hayes doing a fantastic job just pouring the jab out there. An educated jab, as you would say. He's just peppering away at the moment, but mainly just constantly landing the block, constantly putting some out there, making Noggin deal with his pressure and power, and Noggin's kind of doing okay, but he's taking a bit too much damage from me, I like, at the moment, Doctor.
Yeah, he really is taking a bit too much damage here. The head health of both opponents is getting low, and the stamina's actually fairly high, but he gets stunned there, digs into that body, ducks under the uppercut. Hayes looking for any type of finish there. Head kick finally gets him. And now you see him just struggling to stay alive here with 20 seconds left to go, Looney.
Yeah, I mean, that was incredibly close. I mean, he continues to blast away with those head kicks, and they continue to land. A little bit more activity to close out the end of the round for Noggin. I think that's needed from the get-go in this second round. There, Humble, I don't know if you would agree, but I just don't think he can allow somebody like Vex Hayes to get started, because when he gets started, those combinations start flying, brother, and that's a bit of a problem.
You can't give him the space. You can't let him take up the center of the octagon and push you back against that fence, because what he's doing is he's using his hands really, really well. And when, as soon as you start to move into that kicking range, he's setting up his kicks with his hands, and he's not just throwing 1-2 head kicks. I know he caught him with the last one. He's throwing the left hook, straight head kick as well. So there's multiple combinations of varieties of kicks that he's setting up his kicks with.
Yes, sir. And there is the straight once again from Vex. Hayes sits down TMF's Noggin. He is trying all he can, Doc, firing out that jab with little success at this stage. A little bit of frustration maybe setting in after a lot of damage is being eaten.
Yeah, a lot of damage has been eaten by Noggin. Noggins has to really dig deep to find something. He's still got the stamina, so it's a viability, but the jab, the head kick does clip in there finally, but with 4 minutes left in this round, not a lot of time to recover in between the seconds, especially with how Hayes is putting on this pressure. Humble, who's in for a very long round.
Yeah, he's difficult. He's trying to go 3-0 for his team right now. Vex Hayes is trying to do it, and this could be it. Vex could be shouting and screaming at the telly right now, and they are. They go 3-0 early in prime time. What a flex that is for a team, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. I mean, they've got to be feeling on top of the world right now. The partying will continue into the evening for all of the boys over at Vex, Dog. They got the damn thing done this evening in a big way, and God damn it, Vex Hayes. He spoke all the sorts of trash leading up to this fight, and he backed it up. He looked very, very clean here this evening.
He did indeed. It's always nice to see a trash talker do back up their talk for once in a while. And with that, we go straight into the co-main event of this evening.
Definitely, and just to clarify on that as well, the betting line was 80% in the favour of Noggin right there. Bit of disrespect coming from Hayes, and obviously Hayes shut up his haters. You know, the most unpopular pick sometimes doesn't mean he's a bad fighter, and he's a bad fighter he is not. Doing proud for his team in a big position as well in the card at the moment, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, as you mentioned, it takes us on to the co-main event of the evening. The next fight that you see scheduled on your card, of course, has already happened. Brought that forward a little bit. This is two gentlemen that are in or about those title talks, as we discussed a little bit earlier on this evening. Here, Humble, we have Fadinator, who recently found himself at the kind of pinnacle of that Grand Prix, challenging Trixie once more for the belt. He looks to put himself back into this division in a big way over one of the quickest rising stars of the Xbox side of things right now, KM Motown's finest, who has looked very, very clean all round and had a lot of success come the end of last season and the beginning of this.
Yeah, 100%. And Rob Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya is tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And that is exactly what Trixie and Fadinator remind me of. Trixie, currently one of the best fighters in the world, and we called him the Primetime GOAT for a reason. He seems to manage to get the job done every single time. And these guys have fought each other so many times. And look at them. They're at the main event and the co-main event again. Robert Whittaker ran through everyone to get back at Izzy. And Fadinator will be wanting to do just that. He never wants to stop going at him. But he has took up some more roles amongst the community, amongst Primetime, being a PlayStation matchmaker. He's been more involved with other stuff. Has that took his diversion away from the matchup with M-Town? As in, it is M-Town coming forward tonight to try and take his head off and try and upset the Xbox division, Doctor.
He could have well done, but You know how Fad fights. We've all seen it before. We've seen Motown. Both of them are very interesting fighters. M-Town loves the shoulder roll. Fadnator is a bit more of that pressure fighting with the grappling. We saw how Trixie dealt with M-Town when we last saw M-Town fight. Going for the takedowns is the way to beat him, it seems like. Will Fadnator keep to the same pattern, or will he won't, is the question tonight, Looney.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure who these guys are going to go here. It looks like Robert Whittaker from Fadnator, which I wouldn't be too surprised at. Motown's finest going somebody like Michael Bisping. I think that could be a very, very good pick for him out here, Humble. We saw him in the past have some really, really good management of his stamina. He likes to play an elusive type style and really, really counter his opponents in big ways. Somebody like Michael Bisping, the cardio that they can put out will probably just allow him to do what he normally does, but with a little bit more volume.
Yeah, and the movement as well. The movement of Robert Whittaker is ridiculous, and so is the movement of the 5-star Bisping. Obviously, Bisping was a point striker who's somebody who likes to kind of out kickbox his opponents. Not known for a big finisher usually, even though he did knock out Luke Rockhold. He didn't usually get finishers unless he broke his opponent down like the Nick Diaz style. So it'll be interesting to see that going forward. But it is an only 3-round fight as well, and I do believe Fadnator conserves his stamina very, very well in a 3-round fight, Doctor.
Yeah, Fadnator in his 3-round fight, he's used to fighting in 5. We've seen him fight in 5. He never gets out. He's already starting to put his pressure on M-Town, though. Evidently not the same, not wanting to need 3. Trying to get it finished in the first limit.
Yes, sir. Co-main event of the evening, and Fadnator is trying to make it a quick one out here. He has got his opponent already hurt, and he looks to turn it up right here, right now, Humble, as he continues to pour on combinations with the Robert Whittaker, pressing Bisping up against that cage.
Oh, he's going to finish him right now, and this could be it. And then we're not going to talk about that ghost uppercut, by the way. That was crazy. He gets the head damage. It's over for Fadnator. He can multitask. He can do it all. He is your matchmaker for PlayStation. He is one of the #1 contenders for Xbox. He is Fadnator, and he proves it again, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Doing the FSK, boys. Proud as always, Fadnator gets his hand raised once again, getting himself back into those talks of title contendership. And I mean, look, the thing with Fadnator is he's had a lot of shots at this stage, right, Doc and Humble, but he continues to go out there and just absolutely blast through the competition. And he just makes it look easy, bro. I mean, honestly, he's a bit of an anomaly.
He really is a very big anomaly, because he's fought for the belt so many times, but he can never get past that last hurdle, that last fight for gold. We've seen it now about 5 times. Every single time he's tried his hardest to beat Trixie, but he's yet to find the 1 mark.
Well, he might not have to, and that's the problem with tonight, Looney and Doctor. This guy is knocking on the door, but we have a title fight up next in Haroon versus Trixie. Who knows what's going to happen to this one? Haroon is being the bad boy of primetime, I'd like to say. He's been constantly getting word for some of his behaviour. He's rattling up opponents, getting banned on fight night, doing everything he can to cause a havoc in primetime, and he is fighting the GOAT tonight in Trixie. Fadnator could be looking at this one and thinking, well, if Haroon wins, I might get my title shot a bit early and Trixie's forced to fight me again, or I'll just knock everyone out until they have to give me a shot again. Cyrus.
Yeah, he is trying to make it undoubted for certain, but as you rightly said, that does take us on to the main event of the evening. This Primetime 47 event has been a sensational one, and quite honestly, I expect this main event to continue to deliver. As you said, Haroon, a polarizing kind of figure within the community for certain, had a lot of adversity in his past. Quite honestly, was given his last warnings to improve his behavior, and he is attempting to do so, and a lot of his fighting is now just being fully done in the cage, Doc. He believes in his abilities here this evening. He thinks that he can get the job done up against the pound-for-pound GOAT that we currently have in, obviously, BFAP Trixie, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, Trixie is the man, the myth, the legend, the phenomenon, to quote the intro as said earlier. He is the guy to beat. He's the pound-for-pound GOAT. He is the current champ for a reason. He is on a massive win streak, and Haroon is the contender to beat. In the middleweight division, looking to go a Whittaker mirror, if I remember correctly, and both of these, it's going to be an interesting time to see, Humble.
Yeah, it definitely is, and this is it. The Xbox Championship is on the line. Trixie versus Haroon is about to happen right now. These guys are at the top of their weight class. Is Trixie going to remain the GOAT of Primetime, or is he like Amanda Nunes and Julia Pena going to get beat by the new up-and-comer, the guy with a chip on his shoulder, the guy who knows he's the best for a long time and hasn't had the chance yet? That is exactly what Haroon's trying to do, and we're about to start it off, Cyrus.
Touch of gloves of this 5-round main event. The champion is on the right-hand side in the blue corner in the black trunks. The challenger in the red corner in the white trunks. The betting line, interesting to note, 57,000 of the Betty points of the server bet on BFAP Trixie. 11,000 for Haroon. Definitely the betting underdog, but once again, that does not dissuade him. This kid believes that he can rise to the occasion here this evening, Doc, and he's taking the center of the cage, attempting to do that early.
He's attempting to do it early. We've seen countless people do it. Will Haroon be the one? Trixie's staying fairly tight on that defense already, both of them engaging back and forth. A very small feeling out process. They're kind of coming in and out, kind of feeling each other out. For the most part, they're just playing a very aggressive game on both ends, Humble.
Yeah, I'm really liking the spunk at the moment from Haroon. He's gone to the center of the octagon. He's taking control and he's really trying to put it on Trixie early. But one of the things about Trixie, we see that all the time with Fadinator and other fighters like that. He makes the necessary adjustments. He reads his opponent. So is Haroon going to become predictable, or is he going to start leading the dance and kind of picking away, and Trixie has to make some really big adjustments later on? It's an interesting question to propose right now, Cyrus, and at the moment I'm liking what I'm seeing from the challenger.
Yeah, and I was surprised leading into this. I know that these guys are always in the top 20, so to speak, so them only having a 1-0 sort of lead on each other suggests that they haven't come across each other very often, as I know they don't train together, Doc. So, I mean, this is a very, very fresh challenge maybe for Swift Trixie, and he's a guy that does make excellent adjustments, but he's going to need to buy some time in order to be able to make those adjustments against somebody that's as aggressive as Haroon.
Yeah, Haroon's aggressive. That leg already getting kicked out fairly early on. You've got a minute.
Big kick right now. Haroon's going for the finish, Doctor. He's going to try and get it early. He's not messing about. And did you see them body shots that he did in the clinch as well? But very smart there from the champion. He's now slowing the fight down. He's trying to take his back, Cyrus, and he has got some adversity here. The challenger is knocking at the door. He wants to walk away with that belt. He's not messing about, clearly.
Not quite clearly, as you said. He believed in himself, as I was alluding to earlier on, leading up to this fight, and he believes that he's going to get the job done here this evening. But once again, I will bring your attention to the types of wars that BFAP Trixie has been in the past. He is definitely not out of this fight. A bit of early adversity for certain, and has to be aware of the damage coming his way, because Haroon is, he seems happy to just leave it all out. He thinks he just needs 1 or 2. That stamina doesn't matter to Haroon if the head health cannot survive.
Trixie's probably looked the most hurt he's ever done in a league fight. This is a scary place to be if you're Trixie. He's the pound-for-pound GOAT, but Haroon looks like a legitimate
my God.
That's him. He doesn't even. Haroon is dancing on him. He's starting to flex. He's starting to swerve. He's starting to move. Haroon is feeling it right now, and Trixie needs to go back to his corner, forget about that round existing, and needs to deal with the southpaw movement at the moment from Haroon, because I noticed he switched his stance immediately, and that caused Trixie a ton of problems.
Potentially so. Now, the second round is historically Swift Trixie's best round, but an early takedown defense from Scythe, also known as Haroon. Going to be very confidence building, Doc, especially after a lot of success in that first round.
Yeah, Haroon is doing a fantastic job there. Gets the head kick up, an uppercut follows suit. Hit that jab. Trixie looks like he's in danger. Another knockdown there, and this is a scary place to be.
This could be it. This could be it. Trixie, Haroon's going to get the finish. This could be it. Haroon becomes, no, he doesn't. He survives. Trixie's back to his feet. Can he do anything back? Oh my God, what a fight we have right now. And Trixie is surviving. He's surviving like the champion he is, Cyrus.
A lot of people would have turned up this evening just to watch Haroon lose. Definitely had a lot of people betting against him, but he is trying to prove the hate is wrong, the support is right. Answering back in a big way, has the champion in very, very dangerous waters, Doc.
Trixie is so
Oh, he's going to get a chance.
Down top, man. His head up. He's blinking. He's trying to defend it. He does a good job.
Oh, he gets the continental champion. Haroon does it, and he gets the finish. Oh my God, Haroon is your new Xbox Primetime champion, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm fucking speechless, bro.
Congrats to Haroon. Condolences to Trixie. Lovely job by Haroon to get the victory over such a dominant pound-for-pound GOAT. Now that is how you make your legacy started. That is how you showcase you're the better fighter.
Oh, 100%. And what a performance from Haroon. He's been the bad boy of Primetime so far. And it's not going to stop. I'm just going to let you know this. But hopefully he can be a great representation for Primetime and a fantastic champion moving forward. But he has a contender already. He has people knocking at the door. Fadinair won tonight. There's a ton of fighters. All the Vex guys won tonight. There's so many fighters that are ready knocking on the door for a championship against the new champion Haroon already. And I'm sure he's welcoming of every sort of competitor coming his way, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. I mean, look, ultimately, that kid, when he's just trash talking, he can build those hypes, hype those fights as good as anybody. He seems to have learned from past mistakes and be putting it all together when it comes to performing inside that octagon. Here, Dog and Humble, I mean, just able to do so over such a dangerous champion, a long reigning champion, the pound-for-pound GOAT. He slipped here this evening. He did not get his hand raised. I know that he's going to be biting at the bit to get back in that cage and get his chance at redemption against Haroon. We will see the way that this all shakes up. I'm just... once again, I'm a little bit blown away. Congratulations to Haroon getting his hand raised and becoming the Xbox champion. As you said, Humble, that's a massive thing for that kid. He believed in himself even when nobody else did.
There is no words. Like, so I'm still trying to get over the shock. Trixie, he came out. Trixie couldn't get going. Haroon just came in. That's a hell of a way to end the main event.
Oh, 100%. Just, I love this sort of... And we talk about this, the trash talk and the people doing that, but one of the biggest competitors and the most popular people in the world in Conor McGregor has been doing that to his opponents from the start. He got in Jose Aldo's head and finished him in 13 seconds. You know, the people who have the ability to do that have another way of fighting. If you read The Art of War, you will read about getting in your opponent's head before the battle begins. You can win a battle before it starts by doing that, and maybe Trixie was thinking a bit too much about Haroon and his antics rather than the fight itself. But we do know one thing about Trixie. He will be back. He will be competing as soon as he possibly can, and he'll shake the cobwebs off, and it's going to be difficult to stop him getting back to the top as well, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, brother. Like, that guy has, he's got championship mentality. Always has, always will. This isn't the first setback that he's experienced in his, kind of esporting UFC 4 or UFC career, if you will. But, yeah, he's going to go back to the lab with those BFAT boys. I know he's not going to be happy with that performance, and he's going to want to get back in there as soon as possible. And I personally, I really look forward to it, to be quite upfront with you. I think that, especially at this stage now, having, somebody that's been able to take that belt away from him, he didn't vacate it or anything like that. I know that that's going to add an extra motivation to somebody like Trixie out here, Doc, and that's what really allows these, kind of once-in-a-generation sort of fighters to really step up to that next level.
Indeed, that is one. I'm still trying to get over the shock to Trixie losing. He's such a... as you say, he's such a pound-for-pound go. He's always the greatest fighter you see about the place, and Haroon came through and made it look easy. I mean, Fadinator did the same with Motown. So, what is there to say, really?
Yeah, definitely. And just a fantastic card all around from all the competitors. Now, thank you so much to everybody who came by and supported us. Make sure that if you do want to compete, there's so many people in the chat right now. You click on the Discord link, you come over, you say hello, you will be welcome with open arms into Primetime, and you show up and you show us what you've got, because that's exactly what every single guy did tonight and yesterday and the weeks leading up to tonight. This season is going to be absolutely incredible. Make sure you stick with Primetime, because we're on a rocket ship at the moment, Cyrus.
Yes, we are. We have many bright things coming up ahead of ourselves. Starting of which, of course, we will be running our next events come the upcoming Friday and Saturday, as per usual, going forward under the new schedule of Primetime MMA. From myself, Cyrus the Looney, Mr. Humbledink, Doctor Who, all of the guys in the back, we appreciate your continued support, all of the competitors, and the amazing fights that you have continued to put on for us week in, week out. We are now going to push some love forward into the community and hit a raid. We're actually going to be doing so, I believe, to one of the supporters, one of the supporting camps that is actually going to be hosting an event through Primetime in the upcoming weeks. So I believe it's actually a week tomorrow, a week Sunday, is going to be the FSK Invitational. Going to be some money on the line and also some positions for one of their ESFL rankings. So make sure to tune in for all of that. Enjoy the stream that we are about to raid up. And until the next one, much love. And we'll see you then.
Bye.